Hello everyone! Welcome, what's going on? Today we're going to be doing some questions from Discord members, so that should be quite interesting. New and old, professionals and new starters. It's Monday, it's 7:30. This is where we always are at Monday nights, 7:30. Is this like Discord Q&A? It absolutely is, yeah. It is. Anthony, welcome. Stripe, welcome. Right in the thick of it. I absolutely love that guy. Has anyone seen that guy yet on TikTok? He's an absolute legend. I'm stuck right in the thick of it. I wonder if I go on my For You page.
Hi, my name's Henry.
It's the first video that comes up on my For You page.
You don't need a new driveway, but I noticed you need it clean. Just wonder if you'd be interested in a free quotation, no obligation, and a free sample test, which I've done there, look.
No obligation.
Done his free sample test. Free sample test. And I got the job to clean the driveway. My name's Henry Smith. Need the driveways cleaned. Give me a contact. No jet washing. Just a special chemical.
No jet washing.
Cat and dog friendly. Hydrochlorine.
Hydrochlorine.
Cat and dog friendly.
He's got to be taking the piss.
Friendly.
He's got to be taking the piss. Everything he says is just like perfect. He just said he hates chemicals. Look at this. You can't. Turbo Nos. He says the turbo nozzle's better than any chemical, and then he's just saying we don't use the pressure washer, we only use chemicals.
Turbo Nos. Stop right in the thick of it, look here. Turbo Nos. There's your chemical, a load of shit. Chemical will never do what a turbo nos does. I don't care what you say. Chemical will never do what a turbo nos says. He's been rubbish, that chemical. You've got to have the machine. In the thick of it.
In the thick of it. Oh, he's so good. He's an absolute legend. He's got to be having us on. It's his laugh at the end as well. Listen to his laugh.
Just done another test patch for the customer this morning, and he said get on with the roof clean. Stuck right down in the thick of it. Right in the thick of it. You get that cash in. Just done another
Turbo Nos. It's this one, I think.
Contacted the customer this morning, done a test patch. Now he said get on with it. I'm stuck right in the thick of it. Good morning, sir.
Why does he say that? Morning, sir.
Free test patch.
That laugh as well. He's got to be a character he's playing. It's got to be. I'm getting a call from Georgia. I've put a screwdriver through my thumb yesterday. You're not going to be able to see it on camera, but it went through the end of my thumb and out the other side. There's like a hole in that side and a hole in that side, and then just like a gap in the middle. It's all like not good. I was trying to fit a fuel line to Zach's little motorbike that he's just got. He's just found a motorbike in someone's shed. It's so funny. And we got it running. It's insane. Call ended because everyone left. We haven't even started yet. Give me a chance, will you? Crikey. Camera is starting. We don't want the camera to start. Don't worry about that. Turn that off. Right, is anyone in the Discord? Anyone want to jump in for a chat? To ask some questions? I was thinking it could be like... Actually, I'm not even going to say that. It doesn't matter whether they're new questions, new beginner questions, old questions, or whether they're... You know what I'm saying? It doesn't actually matter. It doesn't matter at all. We'll take questions from anyone. I ain't scared. I ain't scared. I ain't scared of no one. You go over there. You calm down. You come up here. Right, we're just getting it all set up, guys. Just chill out for a second. Just talk amongst yourselves. Tools. Just trying this for the first time. We haven't done this before. This is something a little bit new. A little bit new. Stuck right in the thick of it. That one, that one. There's the link. Right. Anyone in the Discord fancies joining? I think I'm going to mute your microphones as you come in, so you can get yourselves settled, and then we'll speak to each one potentially individually, unless we've got other people who want to chime in. I don't know. We're trying something new. All right. Discord members Q&A. Get involved. Does anyone get bored of me tagging everyone? Send. Right, we'll let that fester for a while and see if anyone wants to join. Crystal Clean, welcome. Tintin's welcome. Dauntless, welcome. I'm so proud you started dead on 7:30. Thanks, mate. Appreciate it. Mark, how's it going? Steve, get the cash in. Luke, welcome. Brundle. Him and Boyle's pressure washing are the two best on TikTok. Who's Boyle's? I haven't seen that one. Boyles. This guy. This guy's a legend. I love his accent.
We're in Southport today in Ainsdale, just outside of Liverpool, and we're going to be jet washing this block paving. We're charging £4 a metre and the 75 square metres. This comes to £300. Do you think this is a fair price? Let me know in the comments. We're going to be chemically treating it.
Chemically treating it? Yeah, I like him. I've been listening to some of his as well. Legend. If he's not on your FYP, are you even an exterior cleaner? Exactly. Good morning, sir. David, welcome. Elliot, welcome. Nicola, welcome. Can you use polymeric pro joint sand and then use a sealant? I would personally use one or the other, because there's a chance. It adds an extra visit, basically, because you've got to clean the driveway, wait for it to dry, come back the next day, install the polymeric sand with water, wait for that to dry, come back another day once it's dry, and then put the sealer on it. And personally, for the cost of doing that, the cost in materials alone, I don't think you're going to see much of a benefit. You could potentially do it in one day if you clean the driveway first, waited a day or a couple of days, sealed it first with a solvent-based sealer, which evaporates and sets and dries quite quickly. And then that afternoon you could probably install some hard setting jointing sand, some polymeric sand. I don't know. I wouldn't do both personally. I don't know what sort of effect it would have on the sealer either. Don't know if you'd get any reactions or anything weird going on. I'm not sure. Ron, welcome. Tom, welcome. Paul, welcome. Chatting with Discord members, getting right in the thick of it. Matt, are you on tonight? Are you? Do you want to join? Add people. All muted. View everyone in this call. Add people. I think I've put the right link. Can you check the link, Matt, to see if that link's working that I've just posted in the Discord? I think it should be working. How's your window cleaning going? Me? I don't do window cleaning, mate. We're fortunate enough now to be able to pick and choose which jobs we're doing. At the moment, I'm not even answering the phone. It's crazy. My phone's going all day, every day, and I just can't keep up. Who's this? Alex? Admit Alex, welcome.
Hello, Jake. You okay, mate?
Hello, matey. I was planning on. I was thinking everyone would come in muted, but that's clearly not worked. No, you don't have to, mate. You don't have to. It's clearly not worked anyway. I don't know how it works. I've not done this before. How you doing?
All right. Getting there.
What do you mean by that?
As you know, we've spoke a few times, haven't we? It's starting to pick up now, to be honest. 15 jobs in. Started early Feb this year.
Pressure washing,
gutters.
What sort of kit have you got? Did you just go all in?
Pretty much, yeah. Bank account's still screaming, I think.
Nice. And of those 15 jobs, have any of them been more difficult than you expected, or have they shocked you, or has it been easier than you thought it was going to be, or what as someone that's fully fresh and brand new to it, like, what's your observations of entering the industry for the first time?
Yeah, so the biggest shock was not finding that the phone rings straight away, which obviously was a bit naive. The first job was quite unnerving, as in I'm actually in the real world doing it rather than just doing bits at home or for friends and family sort of thing.
It's weird, isn't it? It's like, am I allowed to be doing this?
Yeah, you're like, oh, is someone not supposed to be watching me?
Yeah.
Trusting your kit, I think, is a big one.
What did you go for?
GX390, 21 litres a minute. And the Panther gutter vac from GVS.
Perfect.
Like I say, it's all stuff I've picked up from like yourself, Sid, other YouTubers. It's industry recognised stuff. I didn't want to be one of the, I bought this, it's not great. Let's go out and spend a load more money and get the stuff that can do the job properly.
Yeah, I learned that the hard way. I found myself trying to be a cheapskate and trying to do everything. You know, this industry's been like around for a while, and people have made all the mistakes you could make. And I still thought I was being clever by getting something cheaper and then modifying it to like that little Titan vacuum that I got from Screwfix, and then buying some cheap poles and trying to modify it to work as a proper gutter vacuum. It's just like, by the time I'd spent all that time and money, I just might as well have got a proper vacuum. It's like, how much do you value your time? Do you want to be pissing about with messing around with stuff and breakdowns on site, or do you want to just get going from day one?
I think everyone sort of, and I don't think it's not always in business, but in hobbies or stuff you're trying to do around the house, you think, is there a cheaper way of doing it? Can I get away with using this? And don't get me wrong, sometimes it works and it's great, but I think if you're using something to try and make money out of it, like you're saying, you want it to be in and out, quick, reliable, give the customer the right sort of experience, as in, I want this cleaning, I expect it to look like this afterwards. That's what I was going for, if you know what I mean. And like you're saying, if you go with the cheap, it might work option, you might get away with it, but you're running a bit of a risk. One, of not being able to do the job properly, or two, it's not the correct kit and you've already spent a load of money on that, and then you've got to go and spend more.
That's what I found. I was spending more money on more money and time on repairs, and just basically chasing my tail with it. And some of those bits of kit, I did think I should have just saved up and got something proper from the beginning, but you don't know these things unless you learn them the hard way, I suppose. Because
there's one thing that I thought I'd be trying to be clever about. I was looking at water-fed poles and bits and bobs on just online in general, and you know what Temu's like. Once it sees you searching for sort of some stuff, I was like, oh, 50 quid, I'll go for that one. Bought it. Oh, mate, it's the worst thing I've ever bought in my life.
What was it?
So, yeah, 50 quid. It was like aluminium pole, so that now knowing absolutely useless.
Aluminium water-fed pole. Oof.
Yeah. It's proper like the finest Chinesium, should we say? The brush on it's useless. You can't even angle the brush or anything. So I got it. I got it out the box. Had a quick look at it, and I was like, oh, straight onto Clean Link. Spoke to Tom. Got a proper one sorted out.
Nice.
But again, like we were saying before, that's 50 quid that I could have saved and put towards something that's decent. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And so, so was it a bit of a shock? Did you find that the phone just didn't suddenly start ringing? Did you like? What did you do with regards to marketing when you first started?
I think the usual script is get yourself a Facebook page set up, which I did pretty much. I set that up. It was like day after New Year's Eve, I think. Obviously, friends and family, and they're all like, "Oh, it's winter. What do you mean?" You know what I mean? Yeah. And they're like, "I don't want any jet wash you're doing now. Why are you asking me?"
Yeah.
Like, oh, you know, I've got all the stuff set up and van sign written the lot. But yeah, the usual local Facebook groups. A lot of it, I found you've got no trust at all because you're brand new. You've got hardly any photos. You might have one or two you've done your own house or friend's house or whatever. It was a struggle. So I went down the leaflet route, around the local streets, not door knocking, just posting leaflets. Had some leaflets knocked up on Vistaprint.
What was the main reason for deciding not to knock doors?
Shy. Even though I'm on YouTube now, I was shy.
Shy.
I don't know. I think the problem is I find for the door knocking side of it, I think unless you've done it in a previous job or whatever, and you've got experience in doing it, I think you've got a lot more of a chance. And I know how I answer the door if someone's knocking on. Obviously, it's no thanks, mate, off your pop sort of thing.
Yeah.
Didn't fancy that. Do you know what I mean? So I was like, I'm not going to do that because I don't appreciate it when people come to my house knocking on. I might be completely wrong. I know guys are successful with the door knocking for this industry. It just wasn't for me.
I think I got my first lead from a leaflet the other day.
Right.
Honestly, like, because we don't put many out. My niece went out with Kieran, who's just started with me. That's his daughter, and he was out doing a resanding job. And she said, "Can I put some leaflets out?" And he's like, "Yeah, crack on." And so she went and leafleted the road, and I got a message a couple of days ago saying, "I've just received one of your leaflets," and I reckon that's the first time that's happened, or knowingly, where they've specifically said, "I've had one of your leaflets." You know what I mean?
I found with leaflets, the best few I've had, like I said, I'm not door knocking, but if they're on the drive, I'll hand them the leaflet and have like a 2-second chat with them. It won't be, I do this, I do that. It's, here's a leaflet, just letting you know I'm about. The number's on the leaflet, give us a shout if you need us. But I had, it was in Feb, it was my first ever job actually. All around the corner from the house, I was like, right, we're hitting every street around where I live. And I literally put the leaflet through the letterbox. I was like 2 houses down, and she was running down the street after me. Oh, I need you. What's this?
No way.
Like, here we go now. She was, oh, no. I see you do gutters. I need mine doing. Can you sort them out for me? I was like, yeah, no problem. That was my first job. So it was.
That's amazing. That doesn't happen.
No, I was. Because you hear all the stories of, I've handed thousands of leaflets out, I don't get anything back, and blah, blah, blah. And I was like, okay, so at this point, I'd probably handed out about 300 leaflets. And I was like, it's not working this, but we'll crack on because we've not got much else on or whatever. I have a day job as well at the moment, so I'd like got home from work, got changed, straight out with the leaflets, you know, new to it. Right, we're going to do 300 houses, 400 houses tonight. Or
that's
whatever.
the mindset. That's what you got to do, isn't it? In the beginning, it's that grinding attitude.
Yeah, I'm tempted to just keep doing it because it's after work. Like I said, after my day job, I can go out, especially with it being lighter nights now. Because I had a thing as well, because it was like January, February sort of time, I was like having to sort of get home, get changed, rush out because I had like an hour of daylight left.
Yeah.
And I was like, I don't want to be pushing leaflets through in case people are thinking like, you know, in case they don't see what I'm actually doing, they think, who's this lurking around the front of my house in the dark? You know what I mean? And I was like, well, we'll just crack on and smash it. You know what I mean?
My mate Rich actually built his entire business pretty much on leaflets alone in the very beginning, and he was landing £600-700 driveway cleans just from leaflets. And you just got to do it. You just got to get out and do it, I suppose. And if I think with that sort of thing, it's pick a method, pick a marketing strategy, whether it's social media, leaflets, door knocking, maybe even Google Ads, or really trying to get a presence on Google, a good website. Like, I'd say pick one or two of those things and just do them really well. Don't try and do everything all at once, because you just won't execute it all well enough to make a dent, really, I don't think.
Well, so that was like my January was just leaflets, smash. I even wrote the missus into coming out with me handing leaflets out. We'd do like, I'll do one side of the road, she'd do the other. Yeah, she wasn't impressed. But so then I moved on to Meta, so Facebook ads. But I thought to myself, because I wanted to learn to do it myself, because it seems a bit of a dark art, and there's agencies advertising all over Facebook, which I don't blame them, because that's where they're going to get the business. But I wanted to learn sort of how Meta works. So through a frustration, I wasted a fair bit of cash and ChatGPT as my helper. I'm actually getting a fair bit of traction now off that as well.
Can you explain why you wasted so much money trying to do it?
Not understanding how Meta ads actually works.
So you were guessing, or you just giving it your best guess in the beginning?
You know yourself, you open your Facebook's feed, you'll see probably 5 or 6 different types of ads. As in, there'll be a picture ad, there'll be a video ad, there'll be a carousel ad, there'll be ads that are pushing you to a website, there'll be ads that are pushing you to a lead form, there's an ad pushing you to phone them up. So I had to sort of figure out very quickly how to make that work for my business. And
so how much do you reckon you've wasted before you got to the point where you were like, okay, this is actually working now?
Probably about 300 quid.
Oof. It's a steep learning curve, isn't it?
But I think the like I was saying is I wanted to learn how to do it myself, because say for instance I'd paid an agency, and they're a lot more expensive than 300 quid, and they go, oh sorry Alex, we've not managed to get you any leads at all this month.
Just gone. Money's gone. It's
gone. And I know it sounds a bit of a kick in the teeth of 300 quid just gone. You might as well throw it out the window as you're driving down the motorway. But what I've learned from that 300 quid is 10 times the value.
How long would you say it took you to learn, hours wise, before you cracked it and you realised, okay, this is actually working now, I'm getting leads from it?
Hours wise, I think, to be honest, it's hard to quantify, because it's all to do with the budget you're putting into Meta.
Yeah.
So if you say I've got 50 quid to put into Meta, you wouldn't even start to learn. You need to make an ad, let it run for a few days at a daily budget. So if you start small, you could start £5 a day, see what your sort of click rate is and things like that on that ad, how many people are filling your lead form in, what your cost per lead is. That's sort of where you go from there. But again, it's learning how to construct your ad and like your campaign of how it all works in the back end. That's where I think the real learning I found.
You quite often see people's ads from hundreds of miles away popping up on your feed, and I've quite often messaged people and said, like, your ad is appearing in Reddit. I don't know if that's intentional or not, but it doesn't seem like it is. So you might want to adjust your radius.
And it's all things like that, like you say, in the radius from how far you're willing to work away from base, how you want them to see your ad. So you can have ads that show up only in stories or in Messenger, on the Facebook page, in with other ads from other businesses. It's all ways that Meta will promote your business, but you need to find the avenues that suit you and what are more cost effective for your business.
And are you doing like pictures or videos, or what is the ad?
I've found that a single image ad, so the dirtiest I've got before and after, block paving, just flags, stone. I'll take a picture at the start, picture at the end once it's all done, cut it down the middle in Canva, make it into a single image, use that as a single image ad, and then bit of an ad copy, pressure wash in your local area, see these before and afters, get in touch, fill out the form below. And that's where I'm up to at the moment. I've tried a video ad. My video ad seemed to get quite a few views.
Not so many conversions.
No conversions at all. None.
And what would you say your daily spend is roughly? Do you know?
I'm on £9 a day.
Right.
At the moment, I'm getting between 6 and 7 leads a week.
And are they local qualified leads? Are they good leads?
I'd say call it 7 a week. I probably get 6 that are qualified, as in they reply to you when you contact them, or they'll answer the phone to you. They're all in the correct area. They're all in my work area around here. And out of my conversions, so out of say 6 leads, it'll be between 2 and 3 where I've actually booked the job and been paid for it.
Yeah, I mean, you're profitable, aren't you? Based on that.
Yeah.
Are they pressure washing jobs?
Yeah, just pressure washing. But what I do upsell the gutter clearing, UPVC cleaning. Off the back of it, I'll be like, oh, well, whilst I'm here, I also do this.
Yeah.
Or on the actual lead form, I've got like a thing that they can click as multiple services.
That's cool. I like my Google form that I've made. It's
very, very similar because I've made a Google form as well.
I've started asking people where they found me now, and that's really useful to know. I hadn't been collecting any of that sort of data before. So, Robert, how you doing, mate?
Not too bad, cheers, Jake.
Good. Sorry, I didn't say hello. We were sort of mid conversation.
I didn't even know I was on there. I just thought I was waiting in the green room or whatever you call it.
No, you're okay. The green room. We haven't really got a green room yet. Jake, your guests are showing up your webcam. Showing up your webcam? What do you mean? I don't know what that means. You guys can't see me, can you? Because I've only got the one camera. Robert, what have you been up to, mate? Are you fairly new to it, or you've been going a while?
I haven't done any pressure washing. It's something I've been thinking about for quite a long time. I just do window cleaning, so I'm full on every day, fully booked with that. It's just trying to work out how the hell would I fit pressure washing in if I was to go for it with what I'm doing.
So you're at capacity.
Pretty much, cleaning. Yeah. I work with my son. My wife does the admin, and we've only got the one van.
And do you? What's making you want to do pressure washing on top of that? Is it the money?
It's something when I first started I thought about doing, but I just got really busy with the windows, and it's just one of them little itches I've got under my skin. And then obviously watching your channel and everyone else's channels, you keep returning back to that thought.
Yeah. Sorry. Yeah. How do you feel about window cleaning now that you're fully stacked with it and you're doing it every single day? Do you find, because I've never really spoke to a window cleaner before, like in depth. Do you find that the job is, you know, I do one or two, and I'm like, okay, I'm glad I've only done one or two because I couldn't do this every day. Like, do you enjoy it? I know we're all different. Like,
Yeah, I do. I've been doing it 8.5 years, and started from nothing and worked my way up. I mean, obviously, I got a business loan and I got the van and a setup all from day one. And I get what you're saying because it is relentless. It's fast paced trying to get all these cleans in and to get home at a decent time as well. Still, because you always get things that slow you down. Like you're saying, you're doing lots of stops during the day as opposed to one or two maybe jobs a day.
yeah.
It is hard work.
So there's two sides to the coin there, I suppose. It's one is you've got a safe and secure income. You know, pretty much you know what you're getting paid next month because you've got the same round of
there,
yeah. And I suppose if you've got a good tight round and you're efficient and you've got good equipment, there's a lot of money to be made fairly quickly. My only issue with that, now that I've started with pressure washing and now that we're doing roof cleaning and all the repointing jobs and stuff, my issue with doing something like window cleaning full time is that your potential income is capped. You've got a ceiling of potential income where you can only earn as quick as you go and as many customers as you can get. Like,
Yeah, there's only so much hours in a day.
yeah, and you're very much trading time for money. And so the thing that I like about, for example, cleaning a roof is like we did a roof on Friday and we charged 1,900 quid for this roof, a flat roof clean and biocide, gutter clear and cleaning this glass skylight. And so it was a massive roof and we had, you know, access hire and all that sort of stuff. And so there was, before we'd even arrived, we were about 750 quid deep in, you know, access hire and wages and chemicals and stuff. So it wasn't all profit, but when you've had a taste of that, it's like, why would you then go and do 20 quid a house running backwards and forwards cleaning windows? You know what I mean?
I think it's because I've got nearly 600 customers, and obviously the schedule runs my life, and I don't want to let them down. So if I was trying to get into pressure washing, it's going to affect obviously me window cleaning, and that's not what I want to do.
It's an incredible position to be in to have 600. Did you say 600 customers?
Yeah, nearly 600. Yeah,
600 customers who you can now potentially upsell other exterior cleaning work to. Is a very powerful position to be in. But like you say, if you've not got the time,
as well.
Yeah. Have you ever considered taking anyone on to fill your shoes so that you can expand your services?
I've got another son who's finding it hard to get a job, and he has come out helping me window clean in the winter because when it gets dark by 4, we really struggle. So it's handy to have him helping me. And I have said to him, if you can't get a job, would you consider doing this? And he said yes. So he has cleaned windows, so I know I could put him in the van with my other son, Matthew, who can drive the van. Then that would leave me free. So that's why I like Luke's setup that he got from Darren, where it's like a combination of pressure washing and window cleaning. I think that would be ideal.
Yeah.
Because then the days I'm not pressure washing, it's not like the van's doing nothing at home. I could take some of their workload on so we all benefit finishing a bit earlier.
Yeah.
And then if the pressure washing jobs come off, I can do them.
And so it is something that you can step back from and allow them to sort of crack on with.
Yeah, possibly. And then obviously the thing is though, I'll probably be bringing in more money, but it's not me benefiting. It's paying him a wage, if you get what I mean.
Yeah, I think that's also quite a beautiful thing when you've got family or friends around you that you can bring up with you together. And me being able to offer my brother-in-law a job is for me a very proud moment. That, you know, he was already in a very secure, safe, high-paying job, and I've been able to offer him similar money and say, sort of, come work for me, and we make a really great team, and it's a very cool feeling to be able to employ your family and, you know, have things go well.
Yeah, and some of your customers, you find when they realise you're a family unit, they think that's brilliant.
Yeah.
Because we've done jobs where my wife's come out and my other daughters as well, and we've all just got the work done together, and they've really liked it.
So do you think you're in a financial position where you can pay that extra person but get yourself a new van and a pressure washing rig? Like, does window cleaning facilitate that?
I'm not at the moment because when was it? October. My van went tits up, so I've got a new van. I got that in November. I was hiring a van and trying to work using trolley systems and barrels of water just to get some work still going. And I'm reeling back from the costs of that because I had to get all my system reinstalled in my new van, and it all mounts up. So I'm trying to pay some of that money back. It's
mad relying on a single vehicle for your entire work. Like, if my van broke, we would be absolutely stuffed. And the other thing is my entire pressure washing rig is bolted into the Sprinter, and so I would need another Sprinter to replace it with, or something very similar.
Yeah, I was lucky because, like I said, just got a hired van, and then I got 25 barrels, which I've had before because I've had other van problems, and because I had 2 trolley systems, we just used them. So I was able to work whilst my van was buggered, and I got the news that I need to buy a new one.
How realistic is it for, those little 12-volt backpacks, the little gardener backpacks and stuff? Could you do a whole day with one of them with pure water if you've got enough barrels to refill it with?
I would say you could with a gardener's backpack, and because they last for quite a while. Obviously, if you charge it every night, I think it would last you a day.
I've only ever used it for like little spurts here and there for like doing chemical treatments and stuff. But I thought, does this really last all day? Because they say it does. So
it can do, but I've got some X-line trolleys. They're 45 litres, so you can get a lot of water in there, and it just saves you having to keep refill every, quite often.
Yeah,
so
I've seen those.
We like using that, and just use the gardeners as a sprayer for like Synergy Clean Pro for the fascia, soffits and gutters.
Is that what you use? So you spray that on first and then clean them down with tap water or pure water?
I only use it if it's enough. If not, I just use my pure water.
Yeah. Okay.
Because I've seen it on other people's channels, and it's better than TFR. I find it's definitely better.
Alex, are you doing much with your... are you doing any window cleaning, or are you doing any fascias and soffits and stuff?
Ad hoc window cleaning. If the customer asks for it, I'll do it. It's not. I've not got a window cleaning round. It's not really something I'm interested in, to be honest with you. Gutters, fascia, soffits, yeah, quite happy to do them. I do advertise that, but the window cleaning, no, I don't advertise it, but I will do it if the customer asks for it.
I feel like it's
a quick question.
Yeah, go on.
Packs. Do either of you use a univalve with your backpack and your pole?
Yes.
Yeah, I do. Yeah, you use univalves on everything. I do.
Right. Okay. Well, I need to get one of them sorted.
Yeah, Tom at CleanLink has just installed a chemical univalve for our hose reel, and it means we can run like hypo and stuff through it, and it's brilliant for biocide in roofs, because before occasionally you would lose a lot of chemical repositioning, and sort of when you bring down the pole or you're extending the pole out, you're still using chemical, and it's just like going to waste. Whereas now I can turn the flow on and off just from if I'm up the tower or if I'm on a cherry pick or whatever, and you can be up there and do it independently. I don't have to shout down to Jakey or Kieran to say, can you just turn the backpack off for 2 minutes just so I can get into position. Like, it's really good, really useful.
That's what I'm after, because what it is, obviously, with just a backpack and a couple of barrels of water on like ad hoc clean or whatever, you need to save as much water as you can, don't you, really?
Yeah, like, Robert, how much water would you say you use on a window cleaning round on average?
I take out 500 litres in a tank, and I also carry 200 litres spare, and that gets me through the day. But what we tend to do lunchtimes is I head home and we just refill up, because I keep locally.
Have you got
just go straight back out?
Have you got a filter system at home where you're making your own?
Yeah, instead of it being on the tank, it's basically a static system in the shed filling up an IBC tank. So that's my holding tank, and I just pump it across, which takes 5 minutes, and then away you go again. And that way, while I'm working, it's making water as well.
And is that connected to your water, to your garden tap at home? And
yes, from the outside tap. and now it's got a booster pump on there because my water pressure is really bad. And to be honest, I think most UK pressure is low, so you need a booster pump, so it's going through the membrane at the optimal settings, basically.
And so when you fill up your van, have you got like a float valve in the IBC so it automatically shuts off when it gets to the top, so you don't have to worry about turning it on and off?
It's from X-Line, so the whole system's automated. I don't need to do anything. As soon as the water comes down, the booster pump kicks in, it starts producing water, and then when it's full, it just turns itself off.
Oh, no way. That sounds great. Could you... It's almost like there'd just be a distraction, wouldn't it? I was going to say, could you offer that to other local window cleaners to come and use your water filling station? But it can all get a bit...
Yeah, a bit too much.
Yeah.
Yeah, I make my own water as well.
How are you doing it?
Well, long story short, I keep marine fish, so we need the RODI for the fish, so I just make more to do windows with.
Oh, right, okay.
Yeah, I've had customers with fish tanks, marine ones, ask if I could give them some RO water.
Yeah.
And Robert, are you changing the resin in that system at home? Like, and how often do you have to do that, like maintenance on that to keep it pure?
It's the resin should last me around 6 months, but as your membrane gets a bit older, you need to change your resin a bit more. But there's a lot of factors going there, because it also depends how much water you produce every day. So I'm making about nearly, I'd say, between 700 to 800 litres a day.
And I suppose it also depends on how hard your water is in the first place, doesn't it?
Yeah, you probably know about the TDS levels. Mine's at 260, so it's quite high, but I've brought a water softener as well, because they recommend that if you've got TDS levels of around 300 or more, go through a water softener before it goes through your RODI system. It just sort of makes things last a bit longer.
Right. Have either of you... Sorry, go on.
Because I did have problems with my membrane. It was only lasting a year when it should be lasting between 3 and 5. And I think it's also because there's some harsh chemicals in the water. So it's doing my pre-filters in, and then they weren't doing their job of protecting the membrane. So that's why I went for the water softener. And since I've done that, it's cured it.
Silly question. What's the membrane bit? That's different to the resin.
They call it 4-stage. So you've got 2 pre-filters. They're 2 stages. One's paper, one's carbon. So the paper just gets all the big bits in the water that can damage your membrane. The carbon protects the membrane from the chemicals that are in the water. And then your membrane does about 95 to 99% of the work of making pure water, basically.
Membrane. So it's
and
like
once it's past that, it goes through your resin, which just polishes it off to zero.
Right, okay. Because when I think of membrane, I think of like a weed membrane that you lay in your garden.
Yeah, I can't really describe it because it's all technical, whereas I just take away from it what I need to know to keep it working. But the water just passes through it, and that's how it softens all the water, by removing the TDS levels, really. And it comes out, it's 260 as it goes into my system. It comes out the membrane at the moment at 12, because my membrane's going to need changing again. I've got a spare one ready to go, but once I've changed it, it'll be going down to about 5, and then it goes through my resin. So the lower the TDS levels of your membrane, basically, the easier it is for your resin to do the rest of the work, and it will last longer. So if your membrane starts to go a bit, you'll notice it because you're changing the resin more than often. Yeah.
Interesting. Yeah, it's. I just thought I'd ask because I don't often, like I said, I don't often speak to window cleaners, so I don't really know. We was in a road today. We were doing like a bit of repointing and tarmac restoration job work, and while we were there was 3 window cleaners in the street, 3 different window cleaners, and 1 bin cleaning van turned up as well, which I thought was funny.
Yeah, I see a few of them out and about. It's quite good because you all nod your head at each other anyway, don't
you? Yeah. Although, do you find there's much competition in terms of like, does anyone dislike each other? Is there any like weird animosity in your industry?
I've never experienced it where I live, and there's a few window cleaners because you recognise each other's vans. You just put your hand up.
Yeah.
And if you're on the same road, you'll run across and just speak to each other for a couple of minutes because you're both busy trying to get your work done.
Yeah.
So I've not really experienced that.
Fair enough. And was it
I
just
think there's
pressure
I was
washing?
just going to say, there's that much glass out there for there's enough work for everyone.
Yeah, that's what I think as well. There's so much money about. Is it just pressure washing you were planning on going into, or have you thought about any other services?
Well, I do gutter clears and the fascia soffits and gutters. Do conservatory roofs, because obviously it's just utilising what I've already got. I've got a big gutter vac, this Skyvac Industrial 85. Had that for about 5 years, and got the big generator that comes with it as well.
Hello, Anthony.
Yeah, I was just wondering about pressure washer, and I thought if I do, it's like I've been toying with the idea of a second van anyway, just to make our lives a bit easier, so we finish a bit earlier. But then I just thought, do I stick with window cleaning because now's the time to maybe do a bit of pressure washing, or I don't?
Yeah, I always thought in the position where you have to like lease a van or something. We were talking about it in the Discord the other day. Leasing a van, what are the rules about like bolting your own equipment into it and sign writing your van and stuff? But apparently if you let them know that's what you want to do, they might just increase your monthly cost a little bit, but they do allow you to do that sort of stuff. Yeah,
I'm sure it depends on the company. Like I say, there's a lot running around, isn't there, to make sure these things are going to work.
Yeah. Zenith, welcome. How you doing, mate? You need to tell me how to pronounce. Is that Anthony or Anthony? I always get it wrong. He's muted. He doesn't like us. He doesn't want to talk to us.
I'm guessing it's Anthony.
Oh, there's two of you now. Hello, mate. You okay?
The mic on mute. I had to go to the settings to unmute it.
No worries. How you doing?
Not too bad. How's things?
Extremely busy, and I'm struggling to keep up now that I'm back on the tools. I think if Jakey was still here, I think I might be okay, but it's me and Kieran on the tools, and I'm at the point now where I'm not even answering the phone to people, which is it's terrible, really.
Nice position to be in, though, isn't it?
It's amazing, and I'm not complaining. I'm sending people my link to say, please fill out this form. We don't respond to DMs. We don't do quotes in the DMs and stuff. We're booked up for 2 months. If you'd still like a quote, please fill in the form. And then they fill in the form, and they have to wait like another week for me to actually get back to them, which is it's bad. It's not good at the minute. How about you?
Not too bad, I'm booking mid-May, late May, weekends and whatnot. Weekends, bank holidays, but I'm now booking the annual leaving and all that.
Are you doing all services, or are you focusing on just pressure washing?
Pressure washing, I don't do gutters, I don't do windows. I'll do everything but like I don't get much like soffit fascia cleaning. I don't get many connies. I advertise ground surfaces, and that's what I get. I think you get what you advertise with.
Yeah, I found that out recently, and it seems ridiculous, really, but it was Exterior Essentials. Jay from Exterior Essentials, he put it in my brain. He was like, I'm only posting the jobs that I want to attract. So it's like the big driveways. Yeah, big driveways, big patio restorations and stuff. The impressive houses, not the little crappy ones that there might be a good transformation, but it's just a little tiny job. Or if we're, I'm not posting gutter clearing because we're not really interested in gutter clearing at the minute. And I was like, I'm going to try that. I'm going to see where that gets me, because I was in the mindset where I'm posting every single thing we're doing.
Yeah.
And then as soon as I stopped posting gutters, fascias, soffits, and gutter clearing and stuff, I started only getting pressure washing work, and it's amazing. It's obvious, really, when you think about it.
Yeah, it makes sense. I mean, I've never offered gutters or windows or anything like that, so I've never really got the leads in, but I've not even had customers, ground surface and otherwise, ask if I do it. I just don't shout about it at all, really. I'm not, when I'm limited now to, I don't like doing Sundays particularly, because the noise pisses neighbours off. You're unlikely to convert a neighbour if you've got the machine on at 9 in the morning on a Sunday. So I don't do Sundays. So I'm Saturdays, booking Fridays and Mondays off, and then filling bank holidays and booking extra days either side to just give myself like a nice run of days. So like the bank holidays and stuff I've just done, that was like Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Monday, Tuesday with 1 or 2 jobs both days. And then I'm booking into mid-May, late May now, but I think me and Alex went about this in the Discord. We don't want to be pushing customers too far back. We don't want to be saying, oh yeah, I've got space started July and we're at end of April. So I'm trying to be tactical with my annual leave and my day job and keep them all like within a month.
Yeah, I've just booked for the 18th of June.
Yeah,
which is crazy, just so far out. But they're willing to wait. I'm pre-warning them before I'm giving them the quote, saying like, do you still want a quote? I'm not going to be able to get you until late June. Is that still okay? And they're like, yeah, we're happy to wait. So it's fine.
Yeah, it's the expectations there. They're coming to you because they want you, so they're prepared to wait. It's not they're not ringing round local contractors to find someone who can do it next week. They're either seeking you out or they've seen you and want you. So if they see you and want you, they're always going to be happy to wait.
Yeah. I was going to ask you a question just then. I forgot what it was. I can't remember who I was talking to the other day. It might have been Cedars or it might have been Matt, but I'm sure someone said it was like illegal to make noise as a contractor on a Sunday, but I've been working Sundays for the last 5 years and I didn't even know.
Councils, it depends on your local authority really. Wakefield Council, where I'm based, well, I'm half Wakefield, half Leeds. I'm like border the two, so I work in both. Neither of them allow construction like noise from at all on Sundays. So I just try and avoid it. I mean, Sundays are nice for if you get a warm Sunday, go do some resanding or some gutter stoppage fascias and things like that. I'm more than happy to work the Sundays. It's not for lack of wanting to work, but I feel like having the machine on from early hours on a Sunday just sets a bit of a wrong impression.
Yeah, we don't.
I might just be a bit picky, but
we don't start our machine before 10 o'clock on a Sunday. We'll probably arrive at like 9, half 9 to get started and stuff. But it says here, noisy work is generally prohibited on all day on Sundays. Typical council regulations allow construction noise only during weekdays, for example. 8 a.m. till 6 p.m. and then Saturday mornings 8 a.m. till 1 p.m.
Yeah. I think it's the same here. I think Saturdays they allow it through till 4 in Wakefield Council, I want to say, but I've noticed that people aren't fussed on Saturdays. Saturdays when they're drinking, they're going out, they're not even in the house for the most part. But Sunday mornings when everyone's got a rough head, it's the kind of last thing they want. And I get quite a bit of my work from converting neighbours and people on the street. So I feel like I wouldn't get that work if I did it on a Sunday.
Yeah. I don't know what I've just done. Did someone put their hand up then? Because I think...
It was me, sorry, mate.
Oh, I thought someone was trying to get in and I might have just kicked them out. I couldn't figure out what I was doing.
I just didn't want to interrupt, that's all.
No, you're fine.
Just a quick one for Anthony. Obviously, you're same as me, aren't you? Part-time.
Yeah.
You mentioned annual leave before. How are you planning your jobs around that? Because myself, I look at the value of the job versus how much. Versus the annual leave day rate, if you know what I mean. Is that how you're doing it, or are you looking at it as just I'll book it either way?
Kinda. It depends. Because I mean, I've got a few minimum charge jobs booked in, but I'll try squeeze 2 or 3 in a day, minimum charge jobs, so that I can make the full day out of it. Like for me, my days are usually like 350 plus, because if I've got enough work, fortunately, at this part-time stage, that if it's anything under 250 quid, I can probably do 2 of them. And if it's a bit of a screwball for me though when I've got like 3 poly sweep installs and 2 ceiling jobs booked in, because that's a nightmare when it comes to available days. Like I'm just having to knock you on to the next weekend, and before you know it, 3 rainy weekends and we're a month late.
Yeah.
Are you in a position where you've got a decent amount of work booked in already? Have you purchased all your equipment?
More or less. I've got my machine from PWS, and I've got plenty of hose and water-fed pole, everything I need for all my services.
And you don't have to answer this if you don't want to. Have you got savings behind you?
Business or personally?
Either.
Not too much on either, to be fair. The van's going into the garage tomorrow as well, so we'll see how much that turns out to be.
Because I had a goal when I first started that I would have 2 months worth of wages in the bank to fall back on if I was in a pinch. I had 2 months worth of work booked in around my current day job, so evenings and weekends. And I'd purchased all my equipment, like my van or pressure washer. I didn't need to make any immediate upgrades, like I was able to earn.
House is in order.
And so what would you say is stopping you from going full time? Because I thought you were full time. Looking at your social media and stuff, you look fairly well established.
I know. I like to portray it that way, and every single customer I've met has thought I was full time, which is good. For me, it's probably the personal savings. I shot myself in the foot at a really young age. I passed my test driving at 17, and I had a good job. I was 16, 17, and I was a manager at the local KFC, and I was just pulling in like £450 a week, something daft, working full time. But then I just pissed all the money at the wall and crashed my car and lost my license and got sacked from my job, just being an 18-year-old.
Wow.
And then I also landed myself in like a couple of grand's worth of debt at the time as well. So I all that progress I'd made 16 through 18, I just erased it and then set myself back further.
Yeah.
So I'd worked my way back out of that, but having like dropped out of college and not kind of set myself on the best foot, I ended up working in an apprenticeship for a while in law, but that paid peanuts, so I was not making a dent on my debt. And then I got into an half decent job where I'm still currently got all the debt paid off. Now I'm like on the other side of it, trying to build up that personal savings. If I had the money, I'd be full time, and it kills me every day because I know if I had the time, those 35 hours extra a week, I would be like working weeks in advance full time, because I just go get the work. But
because are you chasing work at the minute? Are you just happy with what's coming in, or are you advertising like what you're doing?
Socials is doing all right. I've gained a bit of traction on that recently, like maybe 150k views in the last like 90 days or something across the page. And I mean, I've had a few a few Facebook reels that have like skyrocketed views and whatnot, but the rest of them just plod along at a couple of thousand. But I get a decent amount of local inquiries through, like, organically and through leaflets. Leaflets and Facebook is all I do at the moment, and I'm getting like 4 or 5 leads a week, converting over half. Kind of at least. That's how it's been since February. I'll get jobs. My key, I've kind of got like the gift of the gab when I'm on site, and I can sell sand to someone in desert. Do you know what I mean?
Good at upselling.
Yeah, upselling is my thing. Like I went to go quote a clean, just a water paving clean. It came to like 369, and then I always, you know, those little cards that Nexus send out with the Polysweep examples on. Whip one of those out every single block paving clean, and they always say yeah, or more or less, just because you've pulled it out in front of them and you've explained it well and you've explained to them the difference. And it's costly, but that job went from £369 clean to a 1645 clean polysweep seal tint borders. And it's,
wait, you're doing a polysweep and a seal?
I know. I tried to say I tried to downsell that.
Someone asked in the chat earlier, can I polysweep and seal? Explain the process.
For me, I'm not too stressed about any sort of interaction between the sand and the sealer, mainly because I don't think the sealer is going to penetrate as much. I've basically, I'm going to clean, and I'm going to do the cleaning. I'm going to chemically treat and all the rest of it on the first visit, and then the second visit is tentative date, and I'm repairing some areas of the sunken block paving and then installing the polysweep. And then on the third visit, I'm going to tint the borders and then seal the whole drive. And I hate what they've chosen for the tinted sealer, to be perfectly honest, but like, it's not my drive. You know what I mean?
When you say tint the borders, are you using like a Block Magic to...
Yeah, Block Magic Smart Seal.
Just the
black.
borders?
Just the borders.
Right.
So, and I explained to them so many times, because I just didn't want, this is a big project, and I didn't want it to essentially just come back on me next year, really, or the year after. So
yeah,
the amount of times I've had to explain that you don't need to use polysweep if you're going to use sealer, especially a good kind of not a water-based one, a good solvent-based one.
Mm-hmm.
Polysweep's overkill. We don't need to do that. I must have said it 3 times, and they still want both. And then it comes to tinting, and I'm explaining that it's going to hide the exposed aggregate in the borders, so they're going to look lovely and black and great. But then your driveway has got a lot of aggregate showing because it's been there for 25 years, and there's going to be a difference. And some of these blocks on the outside are going to look in much better nick than those on the inside. You're still going to have that like kind of glossy sheen finish because they're going to be sealed, but it's not going to look like they're not going to match, and they still want it. So.
Where have you learned all this? Where have you learned this? Where have you? How long have you been going?
June last year.
You seem very knowledgeable about the products and stuff. Where have you done any courses or anything?
Discord online.
Really?
I'm like a sponge, me. If you say something once, I just don't forget. It's worked to my advantage and disadvantage all my life.
I think the customer likes to hear that sort of stuff. When you're actively saying you don't need both, they immediately trust you then, because they know you're not trying to rip them off.
That's it. And like and I'm taking deposits in stages too, purposefully, because the way I've got it set is the clean's getting done on the 25th. Now I'm going to take the polysweep deposit on the 18th, and then I can get that in ready for the following weekend. But I'm not taking the deposit for the sealer, nor the tinted sealer, until after the clean is done. On that day, later that day, I won't take payment for the clean. Everything, I only take materials deposits up until the very final day when everything's done, and then I take payment for all the labour. So I don't want to take the deposit for the sealer and have that ordered in and then do the clean and realise that they actually are perfectly fine with how it looks, just really clean, and then say, you know what I mean? So I'm leaving it till after the clean's done, and then I can say to them one last time, look, today's the day we were going to take the deposit for the sealer. Just have a look around and make sure that you're completely set on the fact that these borders are going black. So once I've ordered it, it's happening.
Well, it's
or
good.
you at least pay for it.
It's good that you're being conscientious about it. I think it shows that you care. You actually care about what's correct for the customer rather than just what's going to put more money in your pocket.
That's the good feedback I've had from customers, and that's what's worked well for me. Is just like, I've not done that many jobs. Like I did a few last year, but my like third job was over $1,000 of pressure washing, and I've never been afraid of the bigger ticket stuff. Like I'll just put it on them, and this is how it is. These are the costs. This is what's involved. This is the process, the materials, the key considerations. You'll get a write-up, you get a free inspection, you get a quote that breaks everything down, and if it's not what you want, it's not what you want, but everybody more or less says yeah.
It's having a bit of confidence behind what you're selling, isn't it, and knowing your value.
Yeah. That's it, yeah. I mean, there was a time more recently where I spoke to Matt, Onyx, and Regen, Mitch, on this job that I'd gone to quote, and it was an Airbnb, and it was a front tarmac driveway that was absolutely shagged. There was no chance of pressure washing it. It'd been there like 50 years, but it'd got some moss building up on the sides, and they wanted me to basically just clean up the front of this house area and then pressure wash the back patio. And the back patio was like 100 meters squared, and it was like 30 minutes away. So I thought, well, ordinarily I wouldn't be traveling kind of this far out, but a couple £100 in it for me. I'll see what's what. I got there, And with it being an Airbnb, there was in the process of spending money, doing it up and getting some stuff done in the back and some of the contractors in. So I says, well, look, while I'm here, why don't I just, because the customer wasn't there, and I says, right, I'll send you a walk around video of me going around the property. There's this area at the front that we can clean up. If I'm going to clean this front area with the walls, these walls on the left-hand side in the perimeter, they're going to stand out. You might want to consider getting those cleaned. This rendered seating area, I can soft wash that and get that nice, lovely space for for tenants to sit in. And if you're going to do this, then you might as well do this. And then it ended up being £1,000 project, and they only asked me to clean the patio. But because I sent her an 8-minute, 30-long video walk round, she then was inclined to go ahead, and she'd come back and asked me to price on a day rate. It was a 2-day job, and I priced it at like, I think it was £1,000 with maybe like $850 profit in it for me. It was just chems and fuel, nothing else. And she'd asked me to price on a day rate because there were some other contractors there who were all working on day rates, joiners and stuff like that. And I just said no. And I said, look, I don't price on a day rate. These are the reasons. You might find someone else who can work with you more on price, but my price reflects my results and what goes into it in the back end. And then they came back and said, yeah, and did the job, and it was great. And the other guys there on a day rate were there all week, just like doing random bits of work, getting roped into this, getting roped into that.
Yeah, I couldn't work like that.
Whereas me, I've told you what I'm doing. If you want to add something else on, it's going to cost you. And if I can't fit it in the time, then I can't fit it in the time. But it was very clear from the start.
Yeah, I couldn't work like that. I need set expectations, and the price doesn't change. It doesn't go up or down. This is what you get in, and this is the result you're getting. That's why I can't do day rates. I think it's terrible, personally.
Yeah.
What would you say? Have you considered going full time? Do you think the job that you're in at the moment? Do you think you can speak to them and potentially say, like, this sort of work gets quiet in the winter? Can I try this over the summer, and then will there still be anything left that I can come back to
Probably
in the winter?
It's weird. I'm in a big city law firm, and in my name, I've got like roughly 450, 500 cases assigned to me, and they're my responsibility, and I manage my entire caseload, and just certain aspects of the work get sent for supervision. But by and large, like it's all for me to organise.
God, you sound like a busy man. That's crazy.
It's crazy, mate. I'm fighting for every half an hour at the moment lately, but I'm not going to complain about having too much on my plate when all I wanted was this. So it is what it is. But
I'm just thinking, we were talking about debt earlier, and I don't think he'll mind, but my brother, he was in a bit of a debt, and it gradually accumulated more over the years, and he started his waste management business in December after we'd had some chats about some of the stuff that we thought he could do. Got his van on finance, I think, or he might have got a loan for it, I can't remember, but within 3 months, he's
full swing, innit? I've seen it. He's
debt free for the first time virtually ever, I think, within 3 months of being self-employed and running his own business. And he was forced to go full time. He sort of left his old job and he's full time doing waste management, and he's just had his best month ever.
Yeah,
and he's getting jobs in every single day, and they're all big ticket work now. It's all big ticket jobs. He's smashing the social media. He's just been accepted into the like YouTube partner program. He's a TikTok partner. Like,
it's working now.
Like within 4 months of just grinding and being forced to make that move.
Yeah.
And I just think anyone can do this if their head's in the right place and they're willing to work hard enough. There's some people that are quite happy sort of sitting there and complaining, I'm not getting any work, but they're not really committing to anything. They're not really trying that hard. And I think for someone like yourself, you've clearly got something about you. And I am very shocked that you're not full time now. And I think if you were full time, you would be making it work. You'd be.
I think so. I've been torn, and I've had this chat with Matt and Mitch both, kind of on and off for the last couple of months, because I picked the tools back up in the start of February, and I said to myself, look, let's just take a stab at this year and then build however many more customers, get that repeat work, and see what I'll look like ready for taking a full run at 2027. Look at like going full time from Feb 27 and just going from there with a full run. But now since Feb, I mean, in the last since the start of Feb until kind of the start of May, I'll have turned over just over like 6.5, 7 grand or something in the couple of months, and
that's great.
And granted, that's not all profit, and on some of the other, like on the Polysuite jobs, naturally, like it eats out. Your margins are much less.
But when you consider you're earning, that's someone's wage. Yeah. The equivalent of someone's wage while you're in a full-time work. Yeah, that's very impressive.
I know it's weird though, because like I didn't do things cheap, but I didn't go all out either. So when I bought my van, I basically used the money from my first 3 jobs and bought a van because I'd had enough working in the car already, and then I went down to PWS and put an Alpha car on credit. I didn't do it with them. I just got a credit card and stuck it on there and then just paid it off after. But the van I bought, it was like 1,300 quid, and I love it to bits. It's my first ever van. But I mean, it's going in the garage tomorrow. It's got its MOT in a couple of weeks, and that's going to need at least 600 quid spending on it. It needs a service. It needs front brakes. It needs back brakes, and that's just without anything else to get it through the MOT. And I want to be in a position where, if I'm going full time, all that stuff's already dealt with. Yeah. Where I don't need. I also am considering just going like half van mount and sticking the machine on a skid. I've got a pal who does fabrication, and just stick a frame around that, put a reel on top. Not even mess about with a low pressure reel. Just have a high pressure reel. Get some more hose and go in half mount, save myself some space in the van. But again, that's stuff that eats into what would be a wage, and unfortunately for me, which I'm trying to get out of, but I've got a car on finance. I financed it like just over 2 years ago now. So that takes £300 a month off any. Like
what? While you now could be driving your van instead of the car.
That's it. So I'm paying to like 1,200 quid a year to insure my car, and £300 a month for the car. Then I got to tax it, fuel maintenance. And then I've got to pay 900 quid to insure my van on like a quarter of the miles, and then 30 quid a month to tax that, and then fuel and maintenance. So running both of them is a nightmare, and I keep them completely separate. Like the van, anything for the van comes out the business, anything for the car comes out my day job. But if I'm going to be going full time, I need to reduce my outgoings as much as possible, and I don't want to get to winter, have essentially 300, 400, 500, 600, 700 quid's worth of outgoings, and then the work's not there. Yeah. Because if I want to branch out into the gutters and do that type of work, then I've got to buy the kit, and I'm a bit all over the place. But it's screwing with me because I'm just toying between just fuck the day job off, get a part-time job, 2-3 days a week, just something just to tick over in the background, and something
that's not going to take up so much mental capacity as like a law job. Like that seems like it's mental bandwidth.
Yeah, it's like I'll get on, I'll log on here at 8:30, I'll finish at 4:05, and then I'm straight into the business, whether I'm going to quote a job or I'll go quote a job on my lunch break. Luckily, I work 4 days a week from home, and it's flex hours, so I can log off at 3 if I want and just log back on and work the time back. Yeah. But the time has to be done either way. So that is 35 hours a week I lose. And peak 9 hours as well.
Are they able to track that time that you logged on?
Yeah.
That's pretty cool. That's a cool way of doing it, to make sure people are actually working.
It is. And not only do we get tracked on the time we work, we get tracked on the amount of work we do in that time. So because it's law work, you charge for your time, and you've got to get a certain amount of chargeable hours within a day
to make sure you're actually being productive rather than just wasting.
Yeah, I know, but I'm just sick of bringing in like 150 grand for this company and then getting paid 25 of that. It's ruining me at the moment. But I don't know whether it's just me and whether I'm just being too pussy for it, because I know I can do it and I know I can make the business work, but because I've lost everything already at a young age, I don't know if that's just kind of scaring me off a little bit.
No, I think you're right to be cautious. I'm sure you've probably heard a lot of stories from the people in the Discord that have, you know, sold their house to start their pressure washing business, or they've just made some poor decisions and stuff. And I think you're right to try and reduce your outgoings as much as possible before going full time. That's what I tried to do as well. Alex, have you found yourself in a similar position while you're working full time and trying to make this work as well?
Yeah. My day job is a bit different to Anthony's. I work in water. So I'm a process controller in United Utilities. So we're working 5 days a week on the plant, various stuff around the plant. I also have to do on call, so that can mess the weekend up work for the exterior cleaning, which can be a bit of a pain.
Yeah.
So I've got to work around my on call and then use annual leave to get the jobs booked in.
Yeah, I found myself doing that when I was working before as well. I was like trying to weigh up, am I going to earn as much money to justify the annual leave, booking this work in? And I mean, it's a great opportunity because all those days off and evenings and weekends and stuff, annual leave, you're stacking cash that you didn't have before, which is a very cool position to be in when you've got hundreds of extra pounds that you wouldn't have ordinarily had, and you're still paying your bills with your day job. It's a very cool place to be, and especially when you're not taking any money for yourself personally, you're just reinvesting it back into the business and watching things grow around you, and then you're finally in that position to go full time because you've got everything already paid for.
Yeah, it's just the time for me more than anything I'm struggling with, because as Anthony said before, we were having a chat in the Discord the other day of I don't want to be booking jobs months and months and months and months in advance, and the only thing stopping me from booking them in sooner is not having the available daylight to do it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I don't know how you get around that.
It's tough, isn't it? I think it's. I'm in a weird position, and I don't know how things are going for you, Alex. I know you're paying for ads at the moment. I'm not paying for any ads, and when you know that there are ways to get work that they cost money, but they're not far off guaranteed. Like paid ads is not far off guaranteed work. It might be a poor return, but there's work there. Organic is not so much guaranteed, but in the summertime, like you can knock enough houses and fill a week in the summertime. There's plenty of people that just say you've just got to find them, and it's food for thought for me, because I mean I've got a 3 months notice, but I don't. If I were to jack it in this summer, I'd just work 1 month and then just jack it in and like what they're going to do, sack me, I'm left. So
yeah, it's just then when winter comes around and it does get scary quiet. Robert, how are you keeping track of your customers? Have you got a CRM, or is it all pen and paper, or in a diary, or how are you working it?
I use Squeegee Up for everything.
And with Squeegee, can you, if you were to introduce pressure washing as a service tomorrow, can you send out like a mass text or a mass email to let all your customers know, or is that not?
Yeah, you can. I'm on, I think it's the 3rd tier level up, called the Ultimate Plan, and they've got features, I think it's what they call send, so you can do marketing with text and emails, and then you can see who's opened them, read them, replied.
That's amazing.
Yeah, basically, to answer your question, you can just send them all out.
So you've got all 600 customers active on there, and they're all ready to be marketed to.
Yeah, you make up what they call your own audience, so you can target specific people in that group as well, rather than sending the whole lot. So you could do different messages for different groups, for example. So
you could do it by area, or you could do it by service type.
Yeah, you can do it however you want, really.
Have you tried that before?
No. The only messages I send out is that I'm coming round tomorrow to clean your windows.
Because I would imagine that if you're in a position where you could trial to to see if you can generate work, pressure washing work, which I'm sure you probably already know that you can. I'm sure all you have to do is mention it to your current 600 window cleaning customers, and you'd get plenty of phone calls to ask you to come around and jet wash the drive or the patio. But what order do you do that? Do you send something like that out first, generate the interest, and then you know that basically your new van and your new pressure washing kit is already paid for because you've already got 10, 20 jobs booked in the calendar? That sounds like that could be the way to do it. Actually, have you got a plan for that sort of thing or not?
Not yet, because I think what I'd like to do is pay off some of this debt from having to replace my van for my new one, and then save so I can buy the stuff outright, so it's good to go. But I think that's going to take a long time if I do that, because there's always stuff that goes wrong.
Yeah. I feel like you could be you might struggle to make progress like that because again, when you're sort of trading time for money, you've got a certain amount of time that you have to wait before you're going to be able to afford a new van and a new pressure washer and stuff. Whereas,
and something sideswiper as well.
Yeah. Whereas if you can generate the work first and you know that's guaranteed income for next month, then I would say I'm not a huge advocate of like finance and getting loans and stuff.
No.
But I would say if you're confident, I mean like you've got hundreds, if not thousands of pounds of work booked in the calendar next month because you've generated that interest and you've quoted all those jobs, and even you could even take deposits, couldn't you? If you were to say to your customers, I'm going to need a 30% deposit as a booking fee just to secure your booking because we're very busy at the moment, you could use those deposits to then go and buy your equipment or your extra van.
Yeah, and I'm lucky because I've already got the trust because I've been cleaning these customers for quite a few years as well, and they're going to see me every month or 2 months for the windows anyway, so it's not like I can run off.
Seems like a no-brainer to me. You've got your son there that's struggling for work, and you've got potentially a position available where is the issue worrying whether you're going to be able to pay his wage and yours?
Not really, because he's living at home rent-free anyway, and I'll tell him like my other son, I haven't got enough to pay you, but if you stick with it, as we build up, all that money's going to be going towards upping your money. Yeah. Because I obviously need a certain amount to run the cost of the business and paying the mortgage and the bills.
Yeah. Sounds like a no-brainer to me, that does. And if you can, again, if you can keep it in the family and employ someone who's, hopefully going to care as much as you do about representing the family name, that's much better than just being in this position 2 years down the line and then having to employ some random stranger and hoping that they produce decent work.
Plus, I think it's something I can hand on to them, and then they'll be employing me because I'm just turned 50 this year, so then no doubt they'll be paying me cheap money.
Yeah, and that sounds like a no-brainer to me.
If I got a second van, just buying a pressure washer mobile one and just sticking with the driveway and patches to slowly learn, basically. And I'd rather go off and do a course with Pure Seal before I even start doing pressure washing, just to get stuff right. Yeah.
I'd recommend, you've already got an established customer base, so this wouldn't be the advice that I'd give to most people, but I'd recommend if you get a new van or a used van, whatever it might be, I'd have probably a mounted machine, and then do what I've done with the if you're tight on space, instead of having 2 tanks, one for tap water, one for your pure water, I'd have a little resin tank teeing off of your tap water tank, and so you can clean your customer's drive and then just rinse down the windows with a bit of pure water afterwards.
Well, I'm lucky because I could just stick some 25-litre barrels and one of me 45-litre trolleys, because it's just the one house. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I mean, that sounds like, I keep saying, sounds like a no-brainer to me.
you should definitely think
And
about
I'd
doing
rather
that.
a van mount because I'm getting old, 50.
You don't want to be lifting a machine in and out of the van every
No.
day. I mean, even if you've got ramps, it's a faff, isn't it? It's extra time on the job that you don't need. And when you're used to jumping from house to house, cleaning the windows and stuff, the last thing you want to do is get tied up hoiking equipment around with you.
Yeah, so that would be the ideal thing. It comes to money, but we'll see. I did think if I could use a bit of time researching and buy the little bits of kit, like your Chaplin's sprayers and all the plastic ones, so you got them bits already.
Yep. Maybe trial it. I'm sure you could send out a mass text to, say, 30 customers instead of all 600, obviously, and just see what sort of response you get from maybe like 20 or 30 customers, and just see whether the demand is there. I'm sure it will be.
Yeah, or just chatting to my customers, I could ask anyway.
Yeah.
I know, like a few years back, they was asking me then, do I do it? And I was like, unfortunately, I don't at the moment.
While I've got you three, have any of you guys got any questions that have been like sort of burning in the back of your mind for a while and you've not really had a chance to ask? I feel like I've been asking all the questions tonight. Should be the other way around.
Yeah.
I want to know about this Honda leaf blower, Jake.
Okay.
What's the benefit over just a normal two-stroke? What's the benefit over electric? How come you went for it?
So I had a little Screwfix Titan one that I think was fantastic. They don't do it anymore, but I ruined it because I occasionally forgot to put the two-stroke oil in the fuel, and so I think I broke it, and it kept throwing itself all over the van upside down, and I've heard that's not very good for them. And so I've had two of them, broke both of them, and then when I went to get a third, because they just swapped them for me, it was great. They'd stopped making them, so they couldn't get me another one. So I said, all right. I mean, Craig in the Discord, he was, or it might have been Cedars, I can't remember. They were talking about the benefits of like battery powered stuff. So I thought I'll try a battery powered leaf blower. I got a Erbauer one, because I had one of their drills, and I thought I've got a 2 amp there. If I get a big 5 amp battery, means I've got 2 batteries for my leaf blower. That should be enough, surely. Plenty powerful enough, I suppose. It's not as powerful as the Titan, as the petrol one, but it was enough to get the job done. However, I found myself running out halfway through some of the bigger jobs, and you're stuffed at that point. Like I can't charge the batteries as I'm going because I've got nothing to charge them with, unless I take my generator and charge one battery while I'm using the other. But at that point, why don't I just use a petrol one if I'm having to use the generator to charge a battery? Even the 5 amp probably lasted 7 or 8 minutes, like, honestly, which I expected much more out of it. Maybe that's just that model, maybe it's just those batteries, but other people seem to get more time out of theirs. I don't know. But with the size of the jobs we're doing and the amount of jobs we're doing, I couldn't rely on the electric one. So I thought, I want something that's going to last. I'd put off buying another one for ages because I thought, God, it's still winter. I don't want to spend any money on a leaf blower and I'm not going to be using it. But I thought, come this season, I'm going to actually start investing in the tools that we're using every day, because it's took me so long to learn this lesson. It's just those tools that you use every single day, get good ones, because there's no point in cheaping out on them. If they're breaking, or if they're just unreliable, or if they're too heavy, or just get good ones if you're using them every day. That's the bread and butter to your business. You might as well just enjoy using the equipment that you're using. So I thought, I'm going to invest in a really good leaf blower because we use them all summer. And the Honda, I realised, was a 4-stroke, and it means I don't have to mix any of the oil into it, so I can't get it wrong. I can't break it in theory. What I have found is that it's slightly heavier. I don't think it's any louder or quieter than the Titan one was, but I have found that it does drink fuel. It seems to go through a lot of fuel.
Power wise, is it the same, like air force coming out of it as a 2-stroke petrol one, or do you find it's different?
It should be. I always thought 4-strokes, like motorbikes and stuff, were always more powerful than the 2-strokes. I just, whether that's an assumption I've got wrong, I don't know. But it seems a little bit calmer than...
Like more controlled, or...
I don't know. I don't know if it's... I think it's probably about the same, but because the engine's at a lower burble, it doesn't seem as crazy and as powerful. So I think it's probably about the same. It's just a bit of a placebo because it's a little bit quieter, or like a... It's not such a crazy high-pitched tone. Like, you get some streamers and stuff that like... It's not like that.
Yeah, I need to get myself a new blower, to be fair. I've got I'm using a cable electric one at the moment.
Cable?
Yeah.
Oh, like a plug it into the customer. Really?
Yeah. On all my polysweep jobs at the moment. I mean, it's not so bad on the polysweep ones because my whacker's electric, my new whacker, which I love, to be fair, but I wish it was a little heavier. I was saying to Matt the other day, I've got some of these little small iron weights that are like 5 kilo each, and I think I'm going to stick 2 of them on the top of it and just add another 10 kilo because it's a little on the light side, but it does the job.
You posted a video of that in the Discord the other day. Do you remember where you posted it?
I don't know. If you go, I mean, there's one on my Facebook of me doing the full job on that same clean. I think it's the most recent reel I've posted.
Because it's a little electric. It's the orange one, isn't it?
Yeah, Evolution one. I think Daz XDX has got one.
I think I'm on an American page. That is not you.
Yeah, it's surface cleaning after Zenith.
And
I've got it up on my screen, but it's a bit behind.
Are you sold that whacker plate is making a difference to the polysweep jobs?
Yeah and no. I think if it was a little heavier, yeah, which is why I'm going to add some weight. The thing is, I purposefully set my camera up really close to where I was going to do it, just so I can see how much vibration the box is getting.
Yeah. Because
it can be quite deceiving sometimes when you run the whacker over it and all the excess that was on the top's being moved about because it's shaking it about and moving it with a pad. But what's actually happening in between the joints? But I did find that when I brushed excess over and in like I leave the joints kind of just slightly full with excess, that has gone down, and that is probably used a little more.
Look at that leaf blower, man. That was a big old thing, isn't it?
I got it. Do you know what? I got that from a car boot sale last summer for £10. It's a Hawk small one. I think like 50 quid in Screwfix, but I'm a bit of a cheapskate me, so is what it is. But I need to get a petrol one. I was looking on Parker brand actually, after putting my old Parker machine to rest not long ago.
Yeah, they've got a nice orange one, haven't they?
Yeah, bright orange. It's just the same Chinese tap that every company sells, just kind of rebranded in it. It's going to have some small 2-stroke type like Chinese engine in it, but it's what do you want out of it? Like, for me, I've not gone and got a petrol one yet because money was better spent elsewhere. But now I'm trying to streamline processes and not just get the work done. Having to have the customer in or have an outside socket to be able to do any resanding is a faff. I'd sooner have it and not just limited to resanding mine, but primary use. I want the ability to just whip it out and crack on.
Yeah, I mean, I did get into I think it took me a while to get a leaf blower actually in the very beginning. I got really good at resanding without a leaf blower. I got really like clean results because I had to. But on the polysweep, you can't do that. You need a leaf blower, don't you, on the polysweep?
Yeah, that's it. I mean, and I like it as well because it's not because it is because it's electric and it's not got a petrol engine power in it. And the power's okay, but it doesn't send everything absolutely flying either. It's quite controlled. Yeah. So I've been getting really good results on the polysweep with that, and just in general. But blowers on the list of things to buy. It's just whether I want to go and drop £250 on one, or whether I'd sooner spend 60 quid and buy a 250 quid one in a year's time.
I can't believe I spent 450 quid on a leaf blower. It's absolutely ridiculous. I'd have never done that. If I knew I'd done that when I was first starting out, I'd said, God, he's changed.
Yeah.
Have you ever had any issues with the polysweep?
No, I only started using it around July, August last year. I'm going actually to do a biocide maintenance treatment on one of the ones I did last year. I'm going on Friday, so I'm going to see how it looks. That one I installed with a big whacker Newson, like an 80 kilo whacker. Like it had a little GX 120 on it. Great. If I had one of them permanently, I'd love it, but I don't know where to put it, and I can't be arsed maintaining one. So I figured the electric one will do the job. But that drive should be pretty much bulletproof. Like the customer put, it was very weedy before. Like we're talking weeds growing feet high, and he put weed killer down before, and then he pulled some of the weeds out by hand. And then I came in and cleaned it, relayed some sunken areas, installed the poly sweep. And he says, since I installed it in August, he's had one small weed.
It's good going, isn't it?
It's good going. I want to see if the ones I do with this whacker stand that same test.
Mm-hmm.
But
I've not been using a whacker at all on polysweep, and I drive past a drive in Webheath in my hometown every probably 3 or 4 days, and I peek over, you can see it from the main road, and the drive still looks mint, and we did it like midsummer last year, and it still looks great.
Was it particularly weedy before, or just like the few of them little shots get cropping around?
I'd say it was your average block paved driveway. It wasn't crazy, but it was. There were definitely weeds.
There's some there.
Yeah. This one's on quite a slope as well, and the reason they wanted the hard sand mainly is because I sort of upsold it and said, like, you might want to consider the hard sand because this is a proper slope driveway. And she said, oh yeah, we've actually had problems with that in the past. The last guy that cleaned the drive, the sand all washed out within a couple of days. I was like, yeah, you should allow me to upsell this service to you.
Money, yeah. No, I get on well with the polysweep because I just find it incredibly easy to install. As much as there's the considerations as there is anything else, you don't have to go through half as much faff as you do with sealing. So it's nice. The customer feels like they're getting a little bit of something else, a bit of something extra, and it's got its place. I give it merit. I know some people kind of doubt it and stuff, but it's all just about expectations, isn't it? Like the customer gets it drilled into them that, look, this doesn't say no weeds forever on the back. Like, you put weed killer down before, keep a bottle of premix in your shed, because as soon as one starts to rear its head, as soon as there's a couple of leaves on it, treat it, it'll fizzle away, and it won't actually like disrupt the sand too much. If you let them grow out and let them disrupt it, then you've let it happen.
Well, as far as I'm aware, it's mainly designed for new installations, for a new block paved driveway or whatever.
That's why I like using whacker.
Yeah, and when I first started using it, I feel like there's a lot of exterior cleaners using it now, whereas it was probably just landscapers before. But yeah, it's like you say, it's setting expectations. The only time I've been caught out with the polysweep is where I've installed it and it looked mint, and then later that evening it rained, and the rain has washed all the polymers, I suppose, through the sand, and so you're just left with sand, and it never set hard. And I'm never going to make that mistake again. Like, if there's rain expected within 12 hours, I'm not going to bother.
Yeah, I'm trying to keep a day, at least a day, but ideally 2 after dry, and get it nice and saturated, but don't soak it through. Otherwise, you're just going to wash it out, like you say. You can do too much of the dampening and hydrating of the sand too. Yeah. It's a fine balance, but you can't go wrong if you apply it as it's instructed, and just don't leave any excess on the blocks. I've always got great finishes. I've never had any trouble with the excess setting on the blocks and things like that.
Same.
But you just got to, like you say, just plan it around the schedule. Makes it harder for me being part time, but we get it done.
Yeah. Daz asks how much you're charging for the polysweep.
Depends. Usually, because my clean price is about £4 to £4.50 a square metre for block. And then adding the poly sweep on at £30 a bag, give or take. And I usually buy it in kind of chunks of 8 bags or more, so I profit a little bit on it.
That's exactly how I price it, you know. I'm sorry to interrupt.
No, that's fine.
I'm dividing the square meterage by about 15, because that's roughly what I'm getting per bag, 15 square meters bag. Charging £30 a bag on top of my standard block pave pressure washing price, because in my mind I'm thinking, well, I've already charged to pressure wash, chemically treat and resand it with kiln dried sand that I haven't had to buy, so I'm already making money there. And then I'll make a couple of quid on the bags of poly sweep, because I'll get them for about 26 quid from my local place with a trade discount. And so I'm making like 4 quid a bag. My labour's covered in the resanding cost that I haven't had to do. I haven't had to buy any kiln dried sand, so I think that works quite well generally.
Yeah, I usually I'll charge extra to install the poly sweep, but it kind of depends on the circumstances. I'm usually like on the job where I'm doing poly sweep then seal, and I'm doing clean then poly sweep then seal. The clean's 369 to and it give or take it's about 85 square meters. The clean's 369 to clean resand with poly sweep is 700. I think it was 700 or 750, and that's included in that price is 8 or 9 bags of poly sweep plus 60 quid for a whacker hire, which I no longer have to pay for, but it was priced in anyway.
And you know for a fact you'll probably only use like 4 or 5 bags of poly sweep, and you'll have loads left over.
That's it. So I price it in at £10 a bag. I usually have some excess. Like the one I've just done, that video you pulled up, that was 45 square meters, and I used 3 and a quarter bags, give or take. So I'm somewhere between 10 and 15 meters squared per bag. I price it in at 10, and then, like you say, you make a bit of profit on the bag, because if I order, like, say 10 I get mine through Tom at CleanLink or just other suppliers. But so in the past I've got it from Tom, so it's like, well,
code smelt for 5% off.
Yeah, that's it. Don't miss your discount. And then, but if you're buying 10, you're probably paying like £24 a bag for your poly sweep, but then you've only got then it's just 60 quid flat rate for a pallet from Nexus Direct. So you're doing all right in terms of you're profiting on it. But yeah, it depends. I'll usually charge maybe like 150 quid to do the install, like on that job with the ceiling afterwards, because it's going to take another full day out of my calendar. I need to make sure that that's not a 500 quid day I'm losing out on. So I'm charging a little bit more to do the install and some relays as well. Like I'll typically charge like 50 quid per small section that needs relaying.
Yeah, I'm about similar with that. About 60, 65 quid maybe.
Yeah, it depends on the size of the area as well. Like I always say, look, I'm not a landscaper, but I don't want to poly sweep over this. Like I'll just fix it first. It's not going to be perfect. It's going to be a damn sight better.
Yeah.
And price that in as well. But installing the poly sweep's not that much extra work. You just do a section, and then it takes 5 minutes to run over it with a whacker, and then you just do the next section. It not even doubles your time. We
had a little win today. Kieran had the bright idea. I don't know why I hadn't thought of it sooner, to be fair. It was quite funny. We were doing a Nexus Titan job, and it was only a small patio, but it was absolutely eating the material. It was just like we were using this tiny little patio, ended up using 2.5 tubs, and we got to the last little bit, and Kieran was like, I need to open another tub. I was like, we can't waste a whole tub just on that tiny little section there. And he's like, can we split it up and just use half? I was like, yeah. Why haven't we thought of doing that sooner? And so he split the sand off into an old bucket and just tipped in half of the epoxy resin stuff. And then we've saved the other half for another job, which I can't believe I hadn't thought of that sooner.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
There's always those little wins on kind of materials and things like that just add up.
Yeah. Any of you guys got any other questions for me or for each of you?
Yeah, I've got some, Jake. It's obviously if I'm looking at getting into pressure washing, is my ideal pressure washer look at a 21 litre, definitely not less than that.
Industry standard for most people is 21. Some people are coping perfectly fine with a 15. I know Darren sells a 19.
That's what I've got.
Which is quite a it's a good price point, I think. Are you happy with yours, Anthony?
Yeah, albeit I probably, given that I got it on credit, I ought to have just gone 21-200 with a reduction gearbox. This is just a triplex pump where there's no gearbox. It's straight engine and then pump. Because it restricts me with things I can do after. But it does the job. I'll probably swap out for something different in like 2 years' time. But there's no reason why 19-220 on a reliable engine can't last me for the next couple of years. So overall happy, and for the price point as well. I think with like 2 Lancers, ST series gun, turbo, upgrading fittings on machine, and that I think it was like 1,500 quid all in, which is just crazy.
That's a bit of a bargain, that, isn't it?
Crazy value, yeah.
Have you seen PWS, Robert?
Yeah. Obviously, I see a lot of his social media and on your Discord and that he pops in, doesn't he?
Yeah. So if you, I don't know.
I'm toying up between him and Rutland Pump. Rutland Pumps is closer to me than Darren, but Darren's not that much further than Rutland Pumps, to be fair. And that's the other thing is, do you go Honda or Briggs?
Gary here will tell you Briggs all day.
That little powerhouse, what is it, a C2?
Yeah, the Core C2, yeah. It's got a 15 horse JCB engine on it.
Yeah, so it's a JCB, is it the powerhouse one? So you can get the Briggs one with the 19 litre pump on it, 220 bar, and that's 1,350 quid plus VAT.
Which is that big
that'll come
thing to start with
as well.
And then look at getting a van mount later, and that's your redundancy sort of thing.
I mean, that machine, you could just pop it off the trolley and stick it into a van mount at a later date. So
right,
you could use the same machine. You don't have to buy a new one.
With you. And would you go pull cord or go posh and get an electric easy start?
Depends on your budget. Depends on how you're financing it, I suppose. If you're buying it outright and you've got the cash on hand, you might want to splash out on an electric start. What have you got, Anthony? Is it?
It's pull cord, mine. Pull cord. They don't do electric start on the JCB one. Okay. I'm sure Darren does on the Briggs stuff because he puts the Briggs engines on quite a few different things. So, I mean, Darren, he'll just build you what you like.
I think for the same price on the Honda, for the same price, you can get a Briggs electric start for the same price as a Honda pull start, apparently.
Yeah, Briggs electric over Honda pull, I would go, personally. If I've heard with the Honda engines, I know Gary's had the problems, and it seems to be that it's nothing to do with the manufacturers on our end, whether it's Rutland or PWS or whatever, but just the engines that get sent out, some of them have this same recurring issue. And Gary's had it like 4 times before he went and got a Briggs.
Gary has horrible luck with pressure washers.
Yeah, but by and large, it's weird because by and large, Hondas are the more reliable engine. But if you get one that's got the fault, just bad luck, like 1 in maybe 1,500 chance or something crazy, then it's like, then what are you going to do?
Well, you say that Honda's the more reliable engine, but I reckon, I don't know, there's probably more Hondas that have been sold as pressure washers in the UK. I think Briggs engines for pressure washers have only recently become a popular thing. It seems to be
electric,
you like the Honda electric. Is that what you've got?
Yeah. I've never ever pulled mine.
Are we still talking about a pressure washer?
Well, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, and if budget is an issue, yeah, you could just do like a mobile machine. You could even strap it down in the van.
Yeah, like
as like
early
a
days.
makeshift
Yeah,
setup until you can afford a van mounted setup. Yeah.
Yeah, I wouldn't even bother trying to strap it into the van unless you're tight for space on a job. I'd just whack it out and park it. Just pull it up in front of your van with your buffer tank. And like, I've got 30-meter hose on mine, and that does me because if I'm round the back, I can move the machine round the back. So I don't need any more than 30. Whereas if as soon as you're looking at fixing your machine round the front of a house, you've then got to consider how much hose you need, and it's like, well, I probably would need another 30.
We've got 50 meters, and that's served us very well so far. We haven't hit any jobs.
It'll do like 90%, won't it? At least?
Yeah. And you can always get a 10 meter or 20 meter extension to clip on the end of it if you need to. But there is, as soon as you go van mounted, you have got that added expense of hose reels and a massive long hose, and then you need a long feed hose as well. And they are hose reels and hoses are extremely expensive.
Yeah, the reels is what's holding me back from going half mounted at the moment. Is like I don't want to get one of the crappy £100 reels for it to just break. Like I've had enough of buying cheap, buying twice. If I was to buy a reel, I'm just going to get a stainless one, and it's, do I want to spend £350 on a reel that I just don't really need right now? And I'd like to start going van mount in a bigger van. I'd sooner put the money towards a bigger van, because my combo at the moment, like if I try and put my machine and the buffer in with my with my ramps and everything, like I ain't got space for a gutter vac and my whacker in there, for example. Say I wanted to do two jobs one day, I'm out of space. It means I'm in and out, taking stuff in and out of the van. So space is a thing for me with a small van. It's what's making me want to go half mount or mounted, but then the cost of the reels and the cost of the hoses is what's stopping me.
What are you thinking about getting, Robert? What sort of van are you thinking?
Well, at the moment, I've got a Vauxhall Vivaro long wheelbase. So I was
Yeah.
thinking something like that, because I'm quite rural. So some of the places to get into with like a big Sprinter van would be quite hard.
Yeah. I think if you're planning on initially it just being you doing the pressure washing mainly, the reason I wanted a bigger van is because I knew we'd have two of us and we'd have two machines, and so the last thing you want to do is upgrade or buy a new van and then realise you've filled it very quickly and you need more room. So I just wanted to sort of future proof.
Like you said, your kit dictates what size van you got. Your van's going to dictate what kit you need.
Yeah.
Is it hard to coil up, like Anthony, you were saying, with 30 meters of hose?
It's tough.
It is a ball ache. See, that's what I'm saying. Thinking you're better off getting a hand mount, because it avoids all that.
Yeah, it does. I mean, I'm fully mobile, so I've got like a big blue bin that's 220 litres, like a blue barrel you see like just on building sites and whatnot. Big water, which is great because it's sturdy and it's not going to break. It's not like those flimsy like wheelie bin ones that you can just put your foot through. But it's also quite big. And then that, along with my pressure washer, takes up quite a bit of space. And then hoses, I've got a 10 and a 20. And at the moment, they're both on kind of hooks on the side of my van. But at the end of a job, the 10's a doddle because it just wraps up real nice. But then the 20, you get the first 10 to 15 wrapped fine. And then that last kind of 5 meters, you're trying to wrap it round, and then it just goes a bit haywire. And it doesn't all quite fit on the hook on the inside either. So I've got like 3/4 of the reel wrapped up on the hook, and then the rest of it's just falling off the side. But it's inside the van at that point, so I'm not too fussed. But it's a bit of a nightmare, yeah, I'm not going to lie.
Yeah, but it's a means to an end, though, isn't it?
That's it. It's just when I was talking earlier about kind of streamlining processes, and because if I am looking and wanting to do this full time, I can't afford the downtime between jobs, kind of packing up and unpacking. Because at the moment, say if I get there at 8:30, it's half an hour give or take before the buffer's full, the hoses are out, the gun's connected, I've got the extra out and put that to one side, and the buffer's full enough to start working. Whereas, because I've got to park the van up, then I've got to get the ramps out, and then I've got to wheel the machine out. Then it adds and it adds up.
That's the benefit of having a tank that's already pre-filled when you arrive, mounted in the van, is that you can literally pull up. One of you can start work straight away while the other one's plugging in the hose and speaking to the customer. Yeah,
that's it. And even if you don't turn up half full, it's just one hose and you're on. And your water's already filling while you're doing whatever else you want to do. And I'm to some extent, it's not too dissimilar to me, because I just get the hose out and the buffer out, let that fill while I get the machine out. But it'd be nice to just be able to turn up and crack on, and more so be able to pack up and get off. Mm-hmm. That's what I notice most of my time is the packing up before is shorter than the pack up after, because you've got to drain the water out of the buffer tank. You've got to reel all your hoses up. If you've not got them on a reel, then you've got to collect them all and put them where they want to be going and disconnect your gun and everything. That could be made a lot shorter.
Yeah, it's this. What I will say, Robert, is this game is constantly feels like you're chasing that extra 5 minutes saving, and the extra 5 minutes.
Like that with window cleaning.
Yeah, the extra 5 minutes always costs about £500 plus for that next little upgrade.
Yeah.
And it gets to a point where you've got to get to. I think everyone's got to get to a point where they're satisfied with their kit, and they don't need to keep chasing them upgrades, because that's where everyone's profit seems to just dwindle, is because they feel like they just need to get quicker and quicker and quicker and more efficient and better equipment. But actually, if you're just get to the point where you're satisfied and you're just maintaining, your profit margins grow massively.
Yeah, you just do what that spec. What is it, Joseph Specker in the UK Exterior Cleaning Alliance? He's just buying new kit every week. Forever. Now you've got that turbo surface cleaner, new this, new that. I'm thinking, it just doesn't stop, does it? If you don't want to stop, it won't stop. You've got to say to yourself, look, enough's enough now.
Yeah, I mean, there is also strategy behind it with regards to offsetting your tax bill and stuff, and I do get that. And
it's only 20%, give or take. It's not the full amount, is it? So it's like if you want to drop $4,000 on a surface cleaner or something crazy, or drop $5,000 on this, and then to save 1,200 quid in tax, it's like, well, it's all right if you're turning over 150 grand a year, and that dent makes a difference. But if you're smaller time than that, is it best use of your money?
Yeah, I suppose it's weighing up whether that extra time saving is tangible enough to justify that massive extra purchase.
Because the other thing is, I'm bordering underneath the VAT threshold. Mm-hmm. So again, I was thinking doing the pressure washing, hopefully that should make me smash it, as opposed to just hover over the top and then end up worse off than staying underneath it.
100%. Yeah. Because if you're hovering under that VAT threshold with a guaranteed monthly income, you can almost park that, set that aside, and keep that ticking over. And like you say, all the pressure washing then is just additional income. And I suppose that VAT threshold's not going to be affected too much by an extra employee, because it's based on income, isn't it? It's not based on profit.
Until Labour gets in again, and then it's 30 grand VAT threshold, and we're all.
I don't think that'll happen.
I suppose you could, Robert, set the pressure washing side of the business up in your son's name.
Ooh.
You don't have to worry about the VAT.
Yeah, I suppose there's lots of ways around it. I know I was speaking to my accountant, and like he was telling me, because we're a sole trader partnership, because we're all family members. And he's just saying, if I go over the VAT threshold, that's when to go to a limited company as well. At the moment, I'm better off self-employed, but I don't know. I think I'll just keep it under one umbrella and just go for it.
Yeah, I had a similar discussion with my accountant, and when I was talking about separating the gutter clearing business, because I rebranded the gutter clearing side just to try and target more specific audience, and I've obviously got the earnings from the socials and the YouTube and stuff, and Before, those could all be considered separate pots and separate thresholds. With the VAT, I could go up to 90 grand on each one of those income streams and not hit the VAT threshold. Now, apparently, they've changed it where they take into account all of your income. Doesn't matter where it's coming from; it's all classed as the same pot.
Well, I'm lucky I'll get a pension because I'm ex-military, so that's also classed as my earnings on top of what I'm getting through the window cleaning.
Sorry, say that again. That's classed as earnings.
So
your
like
pension is classed as earnings.
What I get with my window cleaning plus my wage, that's all taxable altogether.
Your pension is taxable?
Yeah.
Huh? That sounds bollocks. That sounds naughty. Why would they tax you on your pension?
It all goes, which is why the accountant does things a certain way to make us tax efficient. So in the partnership, I'm like 10%, and the rest is split between my son and my wife. So on paper, collectively, we're paying less tax because of my pension. If that makes it, I don't know. He just does it.
My brother mentioned to me, because I'm not paying into my pension just yet. That's the next conversation with my accountant. But my brother said to me recently, you've got something like a 40 grand tax-free personal pension allowance, and something like an ISA allowance as well of 10 grand or something.
Sure how it all work, because I clean. That's the good thing about cleaning, I suppose, is your customers do a vast array of business. One of them's like financial advisors, so he was saying he could put me to one side to talk about pensions and things. Because I said I do nothing like that.
Yeah, my brother showed me his pension the other day. It's incredible. Something like 58% increase on his pension he had since he started putting money in, which sounds like an insane investment.
Yeah.
Yeah, you've got to think for later, haven't you, really? But it's nice to be in the position where you can employ people or your family and they're getting money to go into a pension.
Yeah, Steve just said ISA allowance is tax-free up to 20 grand. Is that
like personal ISA savings, isn't it?
Is that a year, or is that just a one-off once it gets to 20 grand? A year?
It's a year, but there's certain ISAs, like there's Help to Buy ISAs. Well, I don't think it's called Help to Buy anymore. I think it's called Lifetime ISA. You know, for people buying first homes or retirement, and that you can only put in 4 grand every year, but the government will put in another grand. So they put on 25%. If you're buying your first house, it's great. But if you're not buying your first house, you've got to pay like another 6.75% to take it out. So there's restrictions on certain ones. But if you just get like a cash ISA, which is just cash with an interest rate like 4.5%, that's 20 grand tax free, and you can put 20 grand in that if you want, but you can only pay into 2 in any tax years.
So I'm assuming this is only for a sole trader. This wouldn't work as a limited company.
Well, I mean, it's personal. It's your personal ISA. So if you just pay in from, it'd be Jake Smout pays into his ISA. It wouldn't be like a business ISA. I don't think you can open ISAs as a business.
But like, if I'm earning money through the business and I transfer 20 grand of that money that's come through the business account into an ISA.
Yeah.
That 20 grand doesn't come under the umbrella, the profit umbrella, when I do my self-assessment at the end of the year.
See, that's
what
the money it earns is tax-free while it's in the ISA.
I think Robert's right. I think it's that you're not taxed on any profit or any money, that the money itself
like
earns,
interest,
but I don't think you get a tax deduction based on the amount you put in.
Right. Okay.
But I think pensions are different, aren't they? I'm sure that can come off your tax bill.
Yeah. So Jeff says, Steve, yes, an ISA is tax free, but you've already paid the tax on the money you're putting into it. And then Steve says, if you only earn 30 grand, you can't put 60 grand. But yeah, you don't get taxed on the savings. If you put all your money in a regular savings, they can tax you on that. Yeah, we're getting into the weeds a bit here, aren't we?
Bit of business.
Yeah. It's mad how much you learn over the years about finance. That I've never took an interest in finance or figures or accounts or anything like that. It's all gone over my head because I'm not very switched on with that sort of stuff. I'm more of a hands-on sort of person.
Well, especially if you're not involved in that kind of thing as well. Like I thought I knew what a motor insurance policy covered me for until I started working in insurance, and then I realised I had no idea what a motor insurance policy covered me for. And like you've got to be involved in something to get an understanding, and that's why in our line of work, like, we just pay people to have that understanding for us. You can't learn everything because it's just you can't have 10 things you're incredibly good at.
We do end up wearing lots of hats though, don't we?
Yeah, that's true. It's just like, it's like Craig said before. He said, like, he's not going to learn the ads because he doesn't have time to do them or run them. He'll just pay someone who does it for a living. And it's finding the balance between what do you want to take on yourself as a personal burden, and what can you outsource in a profitable way.
Yeah.
It's like,
what insurances do you guys have? Sorry, Anthony.
No, it's all right. No, I wasn't even going to go into anything really important, so feel free.
Because recently, last month got accused of, well, I wouldn't say accused, they just said I've scratched their glass on the patio door. So I went round, looked at it, and I'm pretty convinced it wasn't me, but it's really hard to convince someone that's convinced you've done it. So I just told them I'll pay for it. So I've paid for it out of my pocket.
Oof.
So now I've realised I need to put an add-on, or I've done it anyway, on my public liability. So it's damage to property worked on.
How much does glass cost?
It cost me $516 for 2 bits of glass to go in because of the patio doors, glass on each side.
Oh my God. That's horrendous.
That's a little bit higher than I would have expected, because I deal with public liability claims, funnily enough, as like 3/4 of my workload.
Right.
So I see quotes for, like, I mean, stone chips and plumbers causing leaks is pretty much my, like, 5 out of my 8-hour workday. But that's a little bit more than what I would have expected for glass, but it's completely dependent on the type of glass in the window and the area and the contractor doing it.
I suppose I know the window glazer because I clean his windows, so I went round and told him you're probably going to get a phone call from a customer of mine. So he sorted it out.
Yeah, that's an important thing to mention, that though, about the property being worked on, because some insurance policies will specifically exclude it. Some insurance policies won't mention it, and in which case you're leaving it to the underwriter's discretion, really. And if they say no, you've got to go to ombudsman or suck it up. And if it's covered, then you're covered. So you want to make sure either that you've got the broker who has spoken to the insurer and understands what the underwriter's discretion is, because ultimately 90% of it is underwriter's discretion over what is kind of in the policy. If it's in the policy, it's fairly concrete, but there's always ambiguity as to what's written and inference, and then it gets referred to an underwriter, and it's whoever writes policies gets to say.
I'm sure I heard recently, or it was a while back, where public liability insurance doesn't necessarily cover the property that you're working on. So if you're cleaning the windows, it doesn't cover those windows. But if you drop,
that's why I've had to get the add-on.
But if you drop your pole on their Porsche that's on the drive, it covers that.
Yeah.
My ladder got blown and it hit a customer's car. Cost £900 to put right, but my public liability covered it.
Cover it, yeah.
That seems backwards to me.
She wasn't going to, but I told her to just do it.
It seems crazy, but then what you've got to think of is the insurable and uninsurable risk. So you, as a business owner, assume a level of risk through doing the work. An insurer can't take that entire burden.
Because if you don't know what you're doing and you mess up the job, that's on you. That's not on the insurance company.
That's it. So where does it draw the line? And usually that line is drawn with some degree of property being worked on exclusion, or the fact that it's not explicitly covered, like in Robert's case, where you've got a responsibility to not cause the damage, and then if you accidentally cause damage through some degree of negligence, then the policy kicks in and covers it. But the responsibility is on you to not fuck up what you're doing, basically, for lack of better phrasing. So that's kind of where that clause comes in. But it's different from insurer to insurer, and that's why it's important getting a broker. And
I've got a broker, and it's through Alex Swan, so he's got me public liability, and then damage to property worked on for everything I do. So windows, gutters, fascia, soffits, conservatory roofs.
Do you do any commercial stuff, Robert?
When you say commercial, it's just basically an industry unit of a customer that I already clean, and they've just said, "Can you clean my unit?"
Right.
So it's nothing massive.
Tintin said we need a whole stream from Anthony on insurance.
Well, I've got employer's liability. I took that out with it as well. Even though, because I'm family members, we don't need it. I've just done it.
Yeah, well,
I might as well get used to paying for it.
I would say you don't. It's all right. You probably do need it anyway. What another common misconception is if they're working under your instruction or using your equipment, or they work for you on some degree of a regular basis, there's a lot of criteria to determine whether someone's considered an employee in law, because you don't have to employ them for them to be considered an employee for insurance purposes. You can just have a subby on a job. Say you're doing a patio repoint and you're bringing someone in, but he's using your grinder, you're telling him where to go, telling him what to do. If then he gets injured, you're liable, even though you don't employ him. And outside of this job, you owe him nothing. You still owe him everything you would owe an employee on that job. So if, for example, your son's not going to necessarily bring a claim against you, but in the event if something terrible happened, you want the cover there. And if you choose to bring on anyone else, or you bring a subcontractor in for purpose of doing some work, you've already got the cover there.
Yeah,
because you can
get used to paying it.
They're unnamed, aren't they? You can bring a subby in, and he can take the position of your son while he's at home sick.
Yeah.
You don't need to change your policy for a new person, do you? They just assume that that's the same contractor.
As long as you've got the right amount of people covered.
Yeah.
Even then, it's discretion, and it comes down to honest or dishonest misrepresentation as well. Like there's some things where people have talk about the trade covered and things like that, and it depends on the insurer. So a lot of us with Howdens are either insured with Conveyor or something similar as an insurer. And my policy specifically, because I don't clear gutters, doesn't have gutter clearing on it. It has exterior cleaners of building and pressure washing, but it doesn't have gutter clearing. Now, they insure gutter clearing as a trade. So technically, if I were to do gutter clearing, I should get that added on. However, if I'd never had a chat with a broker and I took the policy out online with Conveyor and put exterior cleaners of buildings, did some gutter clearing, tile dropped down, damages a conservatory roof, I pull it through my PL insurance, and the insurer's like, they say, look, you should have had gutter clearing on there. I say, I didn't know anything about it being similar, separate. I thought it was all covered under the same thing. They'll then go and check the website data from when you bought the policy, see whether you got a quote for gutter clearing and then knocked it down. And
really?
And if you went and clicked gutter clearing and then took it off to make it cheaper, and then you put in a claim for gutter clearing, it's dishonest misrepresentation.
No way. I didn't know they could track that sort of stuff.
And they've seen you've had the knowledge, and then you've took it off to try and save money, and you ought to have known better. But if you put in a claim for the gutter clearing and you damage some conservatory roof, like I say, and you say, look, I'm incredibly sorry, I had no idea that gutter clearing was meant to be insured, and separately I thought exterior cleaners of building would cover me for gutter clearing because I am cleaning the exterior of this building by emptying the gutters, they would probably honour it, and it would go down as honest misrepresentation, and you would just have to, as well as your policy excess, pay the uplifting premium that it would cost to get a gutter clearing added.
Right. That makes sense.
But it's very much down to the insurer's discretion.
It's never simple, is it?
No.
All this stuff.
Same
It's
like
good to know you got it, though, because I said to my wife, if that customer claimed I'd done all their windows, that would work out really expensive.
That's it.
Whereas now I've just got to cover the excess and not lose any sleep about it.
Yeah. That scratching windows is one we see a little bit with window cleaners. Just people who don't kind of wash off the brushes and in between doing cleans, and they'll use it for other things, or they'll get some grit in it and then go scrape it along window. And caused some scratches. I've paid out a few of those claims in the time I've been doing it.
I've only recently, it's very bad to admit, but I've only recently started using a different brush from biociding roofs and cleaning windows.
As long as
The windows won't go green.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I mean, I do like pressure wash the head to get any grit out of it and stuff. Like, I'm not stupid, but I know it's not ideal. So now I swap the brush every time.
I've got 2 brushes. Yeah, the window one just barely gets used, if at all. But is
Talking of biocide, would you do a roof prefer to use a brush or a sprayer?
I think you will struggle to hover the sprayer above the roof with your water-fed pole at a distance.
Yeah.
What I've found, it's quite easy to do when the pole's sort of half extended, but when you need to reach the ridge, you sort of want to rest that brush on the roof and use the brush as like a bit of leverage. But I don't think there's any difference personally in the saturation that you get from using, for example, like a 50-degree fan jet on your brush. I don't think there's any difference brushing it in versus just hovering above the surface and saturating the tile.
Just one's easier to control than the other.
Yeah, it's just easier to hold.
Yeah, you don't want to have a 30 foot pole extension and then trying to, like a big fishing rod, trying to kind of keep it balanced above.
No.
Yeah, and
The brush. I've not
be careful of drift and that.
Yeah, that's it. And Daz just put in chat, too much overspray using a spray, and I suppose you lose some chems there as well.
Well, we had Shay from Nyclean on a couple of weeks back, and he said he now uses I think it was like a chemical backpack with a sprayer on a water-fed pole, just with the sprayer head, and it's like an oversized nozzle, so it lets a lot of fluid out, and he reckons because the volume it's putting out, it's quite heavy, and it's not, you know how when you put it through like a thin
big
jet,
droplets.
yeah, when you put it through a thin jet, it kind of atomizes and goes all bubbly and sprays around everywhere. But I can imagine if you're putting it down a lot thicker, it might just hit the roof quicker
Yeah. I've got one of the chemical soft wash nozzles for the end of my water pole. It's 2 nozzles. I've not swapped the nozzle out yet. Mine's DA Components one. And I use that for putting biocide on driveways and patios and things, just because I can stand with a pole and just do it like that. Because I don't like the X-Jet for it. I just don't trust the ratios enough. So I'd sooner control it myself and apply it with that. But I feel like it bubbles it up a nice little bit. But I do feel like I've put it on tarmac before. It does saturate it completely.
Yeah, rather than just misting it. I've just got one from Gardener, their Lance, and it's fantastic.
Yeah, I've got that one. It's brill.
I've put the red nozzle on. Oh, I can't. There's a little red nozzle in this top corner. I don't know if you can see on stream here, but oh god, I can't move the screen.
Oh yeah.
There's a little blue and red nozzle there, and the whatever nozzle it is, the flow rate of it is beautiful coming out of the backpack, and it just gets it on so quick, so consistently, and just saturates the surface instantly. It's brilliant, and I wish I could use this on a roof, but it's just like clearly not possible.
Well, I've gone and brought stuff from Rutland Pumps, so because I saw it on Cedars, Luke's channel, so I got that Lance that he was showing on there.
Yeah.
And then I've also brought the adapter to go in with water-fed pole, and you get the 3 same nozzles with that.
Have you used it yet?
No, I've got an old one I used to use, but it's all plastic. So I thought that would be a no-brainer, really.
Daz says a brush breaks the surface tension as well. It allows the chemicals to soak in better. See, what do you mean? What do you mean by that? Because if you're saturating a dry tile with biocide, back 50, mixed with water, what do you mean breaking the surface tension? Because I can imagine that. What does that mean? Breaking surface tension.
Does he mean like he's using the brush to scrub the biocide into the tile as he's applying it?
Yeah.
Or because, like you're saying, with it being dry, there's no surface tension anyway, is there?
I get it.
It's a bit of a natural surfactant, though, isn't it? So I suppose if you're putting it on with a sprayer and then you've just got some that sits, there's like a little bit of an excess that's going to be massaged in with a brush, perhaps.
I don't know. I don't know about that. I feel like if it's on the tile and it's soaked the tile, I learnt that from the tiling course I did. Little bubbles on the surface get broken by the brush. I mean, I suppose I have noticed that when you're spraying biocide on a patio, you'll have big blobs of residue when it dries. And I wonder if I'd have brushed it in, they wouldn't be blobs. It would be more consistent residue all over the patio. Maybe that's an indicator.
Possibly, just where parts of the stones are less porous and you've got less soaked through in that kind of that spot.
But I feel like with the amount of product you're putting on a roof with a sprayer, I don't think it's going to make that much difference to the actual end outcome, personally.
Yeah, I've only done 2 roofs before and I've sprayed it. One I used a brush and one I used a sprayer. And the results were the same.
Yeah. Alex, are you okay there? You've been very quiet.
Yeah. I'm sorry. I just don't want to interrupt anybody. That's all.
No,
yeah,
you're fine,
mate.
I was just listening.
Okay.
Are you two just scared about doing the jump to going full time then?
Yes.
Yes.
Andy's over here. We're not going in there. We're not jumping.
Yeah, I'd say just do it. You'll only regret it if you didn't.
I know. I just been.
It's just it's easy for me to say it. That's all.
How did you do it, Robert? Did you have a job before?
I was in the military, so time done, and then I had to leave. I picked being a window cleaner. I got a business loan together. Had to do all the writing up for that, but got help for it. Got the money. 3 months later, they start taking the money out, and I hadn't even left the RAF bit. So I was going out lunchtimes, window cleaning around the local airbase. And then I had 3 months because I saved up a load of leave. So I was basically getting paid for 3 months whilst trying to get what I needed to survive, not being in the military. And I did it within 3 months. And then slowly just improved as things went along. I think being self-employed's hard, but we're weird because even when it's not working, you're determined to make it work, and it's that keeps you going.
Well, you've got to, haven't you? There's no other choice than to make it work. I do think for you guys that are working, imagine how much more effort you can put in with all those extra hours, and it's such a freeing feeling being able to.
My partner every single day, I say to her, think about what I could do with all this time.
Yeah. And just knowing that's contributing towards your future, your pockets, your mental health, your, it's. Go on.
The one thing that worries me, and I'm sure Anthony's probably got a slight worry about it as well, is that first winter of the jumping into the unknown. It's great. We're in spring now. We're smashing the driveways, the patios, bits of gutters, the odd window clean here and there, maybe a conservatory, whatever. What happens when you're getting into like October? What happens then?
Yeah,
I'm lucky because I've set up with a gutter vac and everything, but gutters can't pay anywhere near what we're getting pressure washing and all the other services. That's I want to get a winter out of the way, and then next year I want to look at smashing it.
I think the fact that you're already dabbling in the ads and they're already working, I think is good news. And all the customers that you're going to serve over this summer, I think you need to make sure that you're planting the seed that October, November, I can clear your gutters out. So can I get you booked in now for November? Because I'll come back and do your gutters then. And if you can try and get ahead of the game now and get some work lined up and try and get a bit of savings behind you, smash summer and make it a really good summer and try not to spend too much, That way you've got a bit of a buffer over winter. But I'll say to everyone before, you know, you two have clearly got a bit about you and you're hungry for it, and I don't think you would allow it to fail. But there are some people that would get to winter, it would be a shock, and they would almost give up and fold and go and find another job. For me, the massive benefit of my old place was that I was able to convince them to put me on a 0-hour contract, and that really did save me in the winter. It really did. When pressure washing dropped off a cliff, I had no work. I went back and did a couple of hours at my old job, and that saved my life. That did. But if you're already dabbling in ads and you already know how to generate work, you could do the same. Like Craig in the chat, he does a lot of ads on gutters, and he gets no end of inquiries. It's just how hungry you are for it. The work's there.
And I suppose as well, if push comes to shove and you need to put food on the table, there's nothing stopping you from going and getting a warehouse job for a couple of months.
Yeah, it is just.
There's no end of warehouse jobs because the staff retention's so terrible that they just turn over staff month in, month out, and it's not very nice work. Not in that it's terrible, like. It's not exactly laborious and it's not exactly difficult, but it's a bit kind of demeaning. But if you need to do it, I suppose you can do that too. It
is just crap having to worry about money leading up to Christmas. It's not a nice feeling, and like having to worry about money at all is a terrible feeling. But having to do it around Christmas time when you've put yourself in that position by leaving your job, it's not a good feeling. But I think you two specifically are. I wouldn't be giving this advice to anyone. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like you, Alex, you started recently. You're already smashing out the work, and you seem like you've nailed your ads as well. And so you're gonna kill it. You're absolutely fine. You're gonna smash it, and you're both clearly very conscientious about the work that you're doing, and you actually care about it. And so there are some people that I'll say like, no, don't quit your job. Wait till you've got this, and this in place, and be careful around winter time. But I think you're both hungry enough that you'll get it done regardless.
Yeah, I'm starting to think that more and more. I was in before I picked the tools back up in February. I was speaking with Mitch quite a bit, and we was kind of back and forth on like what my plans were, because I was a lot less set then, having not picked the tools back up this year and not knowing how this year was going to go and whether it was just going to be as slow as last year, which was my first year. First year. I started with the Parker machine in June, so it's like I'd missed peak season near enough, and I'd got no kit and no customers. So this year is the first year, give or take, and I wasn't quite sure on how it was going to go, but then. Now it's like I do not have the time to work 8 hours a day, quote a job or two a day, and then type that up and whatever write-up they get, and then get out on the leaflets or on the doors and update my website with my photos and, you know, the maintain the kit and change an O-ring here and then do that, and then you go to Nips at Merchants for this and get some more sand and order. You know, you need to have the time.
Yeah.
Running out.
I mean, what I would say is, an average salary now. What would you say an average salary is for a full-time job? About 25, 30 grand?
25 to 30. I think minimum wage is going to 25 now. So, I mean, you're going to, like, after tax, 17.50.
Yeah, I truly believe if you can keep yourself busy in this line of work, you can massively exceed that regardless.
Easy, and especially in summer when you can do $1,000 a week without breaking a sweat.
Yeah. Even
like being the biggest business in the world. Like you do 4 decent sized driveways in a week and you've got $1,000 a week turnover.
Yeah. So what I'm saying,
you can do it in a weekend, mate. I'm sure you've probably done it. I have.
Yeah.
And it's only spring.
So $1,000 in 2 days.
So what I'm saying is you could potentially be earning your salary at your last job in a good summer,
yeah,
and put your feet up in winter, as long as you're good with your money and you're a little bit clever about it.
It's smart, yeah.
And the thing that's holding you back from that earning potential is spending so much time at your current job, and it's a very, very difficult one because it's all very unknown at this stage, isn't it? You don't know whether you can pull that sort of work in, and it's a scary leap.
I think it's when boys become men. This point in it, I think I'm on the border, man. Every day that goes by, I do more work in the business and I do less work in my day job, and it's going to get to a point where I'm just ready to jack it in, and coming very soon.
Question for
At
you,
some
Jay.
point, you're going to jump in, yeah.
Yeah.
Go on, Alex.
Question: do you find commercial work carries on through the winter or not?
We get a lot more schools all trying to book in for the same sort of time.
Playgrounds and stuff like that.
Yeah, it's mainly gutters, fire escapes. We have a lot of academies that they have to meet a quota for
Maintenance.
to hold that certificate as an academy. You need to uphold a certain standard of maintenance, and so they must have their gutters, fascias and soffits cleaned. They must have their windows cleaned, I think twice a year. They must have their gutters cleared out. There's a bunch of other stuff, and
I'm just thinking, is it worth really going after the commercial stuff over the winter when Doris round the corner isn't going to want a driveway and patio pressure washing?
You can. The issue with, no disrespect, the issue at your stage going after a commercial job is there's a very high chance that you're going to bite off more than you could chew.
Yeah. And
you could be stuck on a job for a couple of weeks that you weren't necessarily prepared for. You know how it is when some of these driveways take hours longer than you expect because of low water pressure or poor drainage. Imagine that at the scale of a car park.
Yeah,
it can get real very quickly, and the last thing you want to do is put yourself in a position where you're pulling in commercial jobs and you're not quite prepared for it, and you've got substandard equipment, it's only you've not got any backup, you've underpriced the job, and it's very soul destroying. But I think to attract commercial work, to be a proper player in the game, you need a solid website. I would say you need to be VAT registered, limited company, and you need to be prepared for lots of jumping through hoops with paperwork and risk assessments and all that sort of stuff, because some of them don't care. We've had some schools that literally haven't asked for a single thing, and then other schools that won't even let us use a ladder, even with a risk assessment and all that other stuff. So it's going to be very hit and miss, depending on who you're dealing with.
Do you end up having to wait 90 days to get paid?
Yes, yeah. Payment terms are brutal. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm limited already. So
okay, what made you do that?
It's a company that I've sort of had sat on the shelf for a bit.
All right. Okay.
So that's why as you're probably seeing, like in the business chat, it's already got a business credit card. That's like an added bonus, and I can run things through that way. It's an established company for if anyone wants to do like business credit checks and stuff. Like I'm thinking for commercial jobs.
Yeah. I think some commercial jobs have. Sorry, go on.
No, sorry. I just does that mean even from this early stage you're having to get accountants via your accountant?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it starts you off on the right foot, I suppose.
I use
you want to go anyways.
I use Xero for like bookkeeping purposes, but I found as well Xero's brilliant because you can invoice the customers through Xero and they can pay online your invoice.
Yeah.
So I basically do all the bookkeeping myself, and then I've found an online accountancy company based down in London. You give them yours, you pay them. You give them your Xero login, they log in, they file your company accounts for you with HMRC.
Fair enough.
It's like
the same as me.
£400, whereas like a proper accountant's like £2,500 a year for limited company.
Yeah. It's just at what point do you then want to start developing some sort of personal relationship with your accountant and have like them be looking out on the reoccurring for your best interests? You know, they're coming, you're giving them your books every month, and then they're saying, gosh, you know what, Alex, I think we could probably start doing this with this, and probably start doing this with this, and maybe we can do that. And it's different than someone just filing your accounts. But at this early stage, it makes shit the difference, really, does it? You're not going to be able to optimize much. It's just going to be get them filed.
Yeah, get them filed. Get all your invoices on. Make it all reconcile through Xero.
Yeah.
Let the accountants deal with it with HMRC then.
The other thing that would be nice in an ideal world is if you do get any commercial work over the summer, is to see if they will delay until the winter, and then you've got that as backup then.
That's a good shout, yeah.
It's just whether or not they can get it done sooner from someone else, and whether they're happy to wait for you. Depends how good of a salesman you are.
Plant the seed, isn't it?
Yeah.
No, like I said, it's just like we've been discussing with being new, but being after it sort of thing. Yeah. Is it the winter really sort of? That's my sticking point, but I'll just have to wait and see.
Well,
you've got them already though. You just got
at the moment because I've got 2 jobs in effect.
Yeah. You got the vac already though. I drive down my partner street every day, and I don't have a vac. I don't do gutters, and I didn't do them last winter either. Didn't have the money to put into doing them, and I didn't fancy getting up on a ladder and doing them by hand all the time, so I just never started it. But every time I go down, still to this day, it's been like 8 months now. I've been checking, and there is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8 houses, grass growing out the gutters, and like it would take you 20 minutes. You just discount all of them, say, look, £50 an house. It's 400 quid you'll make in 2 hours, and it's like,
yeah, some of them can be a pain in the arse, though, aren't they?
Yeah,
some of them definitely can be, but like, but in terms of kind of the gutters, because it's such a lower ticket job, the barrier to entry for gaining a customer is much lower as well. So I suppose in the winter, you can just go around begging people to clear the gutters.
Well, I remember a couple of years ago, it wasn't this winter just gone, it was the one before that. In December, I had a gutter clearing job on a school, and I upsold the windows, fascias, soffits, and the gutters, and a little bit of just clean up on their flat roof and stuff. When I was quiet, and the job came in total about £2,300, and that virtually covered my wages for the entire month in 1.5 days.
Yeah.
And so it really can save your ass if you've not got much else going on. One big job like that at a school, and bearing in mind they're probably going to come back next year as well for the same services. You want to try and stack those up, because all I did to land that job, it was my son's school, and I just sent an email to the office and said, like, my boy goes to your school. I noticed you had a leak in your gutter the other day when I come to pick him up. Are you interested in getting any of this sort of stuff sorted?
Leave them your details, a leaflet, obviously with website and that on the leaflet.
Yeah, and
you've put the ball in their court then, haven't you?
I ended up organising a visit with the maintenance guy, and he showed me around just so I could see the gutters and stuff. And I said, like, have you got a window cleaner, or have you the gutter, the fascias and soffits are like bright green? And he went, oh yeah, do you do that as well? I was like, yeah, we do that. Yeah, can you put a quote in for that? We haven't seen our window cleaner in 6 months, so yeah, if you could put a quote in for that as well, that'd be great. And bearing in mind, this guy isn't paying me. This guy's just like, yeah, we need that doing. It's like, yeah, put a quote in.
Yeah.
And I put a quote in for every single service that he asked me to do, and they just all got accepted because the maintenance guy said they needed doing. I just put in the email, like, I was speaking to Jeff or whatever his name was, and he said you needed this, and this, so I've added those to the quote. I hope that's okay. Yep, crack on.
Just slip them a little 20 quid as well.
But it's these little things like that. That would have been a £450, £500 gutter clear, but it ended up being a £2,300 job just from asking questions.
And that's over winter. You get 2 of them a month. You're safe then, aren't you?
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah. What I've learned is there's like there's work in little nooks and crannies of life that you don't even anticipate. Like the most random thing can turn into a bit of work, and you don't find those things without being out and about and on the tools and speaking to people and meeting more people, knocking on this door and putting your head through there. And that's just like, I feel like that's the stuff that me and Alex are missing out on at the moment.
Have you had any luck with like pubs, like beer gardens and stuff for you?
Yeah, that's a shout out.
I'd like to.
I keep thinking about it. It's like, but a lot of these pubs, around where I am, they're all like big chains. So I don't know whether to just go and drop a leaflet into the manager and see what comes out with it, or.
So the big chains, we've approached them, and they said, "Oh, don't talk to us. You need to talk to head office." You end up sending an email to head office, and they come back to say, "Sorry, we've already got registered contracts all over the country that do our gutters. So you've got one guy in Surrey serving the whole of the UK for this chain." And it's sort of who you know, and you've got to get in there early, I suppose. But it's difficult to break into them, and the privately owned ones, you've got to go in, ask to speak to a manager who's very busy, and try and talk to them about getting their roof cleaned or their gutter cleaned or whatever. And it's just very difficult, I've found, with pubs, and we haven't really had much success.
I'm just thinking, because you know yourself, like a lot of these beer gardens, the massive patios, aren't they?
Mm-hmm.
The actual work for us, it's bread and butter work. It's not particularly hard, is it? But they're huge areas, so there's money to be made.
And tents, teepees, the white tents that go over the top.
Yeah, you can clean quite a few TPs now.
Yeah. All you need to do is, quite often, if the material's hypo safe, you just brush them with a bit of hypo and rinse them down, and they look mint. Oh, my camera's just turned off. Oh, damn it. On that note, I'm probably going to love you guys and leave you, if that's okay. We've just gone 10 o'clock.
No problems.
On a bit.
Yeah, it's been a pleasure, mate.
You've carry on. Feel free to hang around and chat if you like it. I think if I end this call, it might still stay open, so it's up to you. But
we'll find out.
Yeah, we'll find out.
Thank you so much for joining me. This has been really fun. I should do this more often, I think.
Yeah, it's been nice, man.
Yeah.
Cheers, Jake. Nice to meet you as well, Anthony and Alex as well. And you won't need it, Robert. But good luck.
Good to meet you all in person, and if I can help out in any way with your journeys, you've all mentioned. God, this camera. Oh, it's well hot. Jesus. Can you still hear me?
Yeah.
Oh,
I'm in your Discord, Jake. So if anyone wants to know anything about window cleaning, they can ask me, because obviously I don't naff all about pressure washing, but I'm in your Discord.
That'd be great. You've all highlighted things that are potentially going to change in the next couple of months, or 6 months, 12 months, whatever it might be. So if you've got anything that you need from me, or if you need any advice on anything in particular, please let me know, because I'm quite keen to see how your journeys play out over the next 12 months or so.
Yeah, we're both active in the Discord. We chat to each other quite regularly anyway, and everyone else that's in there. So just say hi.
Awesome. All right, good to meet you all. See you in a bit.
See you later, Jake.
See you later.
See you later, Jake.
Right, that was fun, wasn't it? Thank you, everyone. I'm sorry my camera's just turned off. It's absolutely boiling hot, and it's ran out of battery, so something's not quite right there. But thank you all so much for watching. If you're not already involved and you want to get in the Discord, which is just here, look, we have obviously the general chat for all the stuff that goes on daily. We've got Identify This, which is my favourite chat, which is where we help each other figure out which surfaces we're cleaning and which chemicals to use. It's always a good one to scroll through just to brush up on your chemical knowledge and your surface knowledge and stuff. We've got some suppliers in the chat. We've got Julia from Gutter Vacuum Systems. We have Ben from Rutland Pumps. We've got Darren from PWS. We've got Shay. We've got Tom from CleanLink. I'm sure there's a few more that I'm missing out as well. So that's a useful resource in the chat as well. We've got marketing chat where we talk about best ways to structure your leaflets and your van sign writing, your uniform, all that sort of stuff. And then we've got individual chats for each different... Oh, you can't see what I'm pointing to. individual chats for each different service that we offer, like repointing, Sealant. Look at what Jay did today. Double stacked those grinding discs, which is very cool. I've realised my microphone's gone low, hasn't it? Sorry about that. Sealing chat, we've got wood care, roof cleaning, gutter clearing, solar panels, window cleaning, render, off-season services, and we've got some guides here as well, some surface guides. Tarmac, limestone, concrete. It tells you how to clean them, what to avoid, which chemicals to use. General guides, there's disclaimers here as well, so if you need to send like a waste disclaimer to your customer to say that we're going to leave the waste with you, I've already written it out. We've got roof cleaning waivers so that you can send that and you don't take responsibility for causing any damage or leaks or whatever it might be. Very, very good resources here, and it's a super, super friendly place as well, where everyone is trying to help each other out, and there's people of all different sorts of experience levels, so we're all heading towards the same goals. If you're interested, you can go to my YouTube channel. Underneath all of the videos and on the main channel here, you can click on more, and the description here, join Discord community membership. Press that link there and that'll tell you how to join. Thank you all for watching. Have a wonderful week. See you next week.